And we're live. Hello, I'm Anavultus, and welcome to another episode of our amazing podcast with my co-host here. What's your name?
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Motherfissy, as always, and let's get down with the sauceness.
Yeah, let's get down to business and defeat the Huns. That's actually pretty interesting. Disney song, don't you think? Have you ever seen Mulan?
M- Mulan, yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
the first, second, and I actually don't know if they made a third.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second because usually at that time they were always trying to make sequels to their big hits, but the problem was that the sequels were a bit low budget and
Yeah,
yeah,
can't fault a nigga for that.
yeah,
I mean, it was like a fact at that point, so you can't really deny it.
yeah. One of my favorite Disney movies is of course Song of the South. It's a live action movie that is
Live action, I didn't even know. Wait, is it by Disney or
yeah,
just
it's
some
Disney.
movie? I never knew they made live action movies.
Yeah, they do.
I've never seen one ever. I've only seen the Pixar stuff.
They actually make a lot of live action movies. For example, have you ever seen Pirates of the Caribbean?
Uh, yes and no.
Well,
Like
that's a
I've seen
Disney movie.
every movie, but I've never seen an actual movie. Like I've never sat down and watched a movie. I literally saw every meme, but never any context to what the
Yeah,
meme is. Yet it's still funny, which
yeah.
is accurate.
Well, that's Disney.
Good to know
Yeah.
information.
But
The
anyway, Song of the South is interesting because it's sort of banned as a movie. Uh,
Is it a band like a musical group or a band as in not allowed to watch it? Like what type of
it's
band
sort
are
of
we
you're
talking
not allowed
about?
to watch it, but in the sense that they won't release it again
To
um,
DVD?
to DVD or anything. And Disney sometimes does that with some of their movies, where they won't release them for a few years, and they release them. But Song of the South, they have generally refused to release it because
Please tell
um,
me someone died. That would be
no,
amazing. Oh,
it's
disappointment.
it's actually
Disappointment.
because they're concerned that people would get upset by watching the
Oh
movie
yes. The
in
ultimate butthurt
regards
faggots. Yes.
to race. Uh,
Oh yes. It's even better. Even better.
because one
You
of
know
the
what's funny?
yeah
I've never been offended by any movie I've ever watched, even blatant racist ISIS ones. Never.
yeah you
And I
watched
never
the
understood the butt hurt. Like I've never gotten why people get so butt hurt with movies. I mean, I kind of get the idea. Sometimes some of them are racist. Sometimes they just don't appeal to your political beliefs. But that doesn't
yeah
mean it's a blatantly
but
bad movie
but
because
Song
I
of the
don't
South
know.
isn't explicitly racist in any sense. It's just that some people think it's implicitly, and I don't disagree. I've seen it, and I really like the movie. I think it's a pretty interesting movie. It has some bits of animation in it, so it sort of blends live action and animation. So it's
Oh
interesting on a
God.
technical aspect.
Okay. Does
But
it do it well though? That's actually my question.
yeah,
Because
I think it
sometimes
does it
they
pretty
fuck
well.
it up, and by sometimes I mean half the time they
Yeah,
screw it up
yeah,
because they really don't know the difference. Here's the funny thing about making a movie, right?
yeah,
Whenever I see a Disney movie or a movie like this where they try to blend two different aspects that are both unique but also have common interests, right? For me personally, that seems like an easy task. All you gotta do is be faithful to both while making it interesting. But at the same time, for other professionals, it seems like it's the hardest thing to do in the universe. Like, they literally can't mix it well half the time. Like video game movies, all you really gotta do is just follow the story from the video game while putting realistic aspects, at least semi-realistic, because you can't go full real. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Semi-realistic with the live action parts, but they always fuck it up. Like for me, it's always funny because I'm like, is it just me? Or just they seem like they hire only dropouts to make these kinds of movies because it seems a bit too easy.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. For me, I always find it interesting because I never know if it's the right or left. Like, I never know if it's like people who are too lazy to actually put in work, or it is the opposite, where people put too much work and not enough fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's always a unique aspect of making movies like this. You never actually fully understand whether or not the crew is just dumb, like they don't understand the source material, or they understand it and they just don't give a fuck, but they still want to make a movie off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, recently I saw a live adaptation of Gintama, and
Oh God, yeah, that must have been fun to watch.
and actually it was okay, and that's good.
Oh,
It
okay.
it actually was kind of funny here and there, which is what it's supposed to be, and
Yeah, I mean, if you fuck that up, then you
I
really
think
got
it
nothing
it did
else.
a good job at adapting the characters to live action. Um, so I
Respect.
yeah, and my grandmother liked it too, so I don't know.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Feels weird, man. But my grandmother liked it, but she doesn't like it when if it's the anime. It's been weird like that. She doesn't like
Yeah,
anime, but she liked the live adaptation
yeah.
of
I've,
it.
ha- I've had I've had friends like that who don't get the anime, but get the live action version. I think it's
Yeah,
because they're similar to bronies in a way where they're so scared of their masculinity, like scared to be judged for watching something that's girly or cartoonish, that they just kind of wanted to either be for real adults, so they can call it, "Hey, I'm watching actual movies," or "Hey, I'm watching masculine stuff," which I never understood. Like, are you that insecure? For me, here's the funny thing about insecurities. I never understood people who have them because a lot of them, right, like to do this thing where they play the victim. Like they like to complain about having it, but never why they have it. Because most of them, at least as far as I can tell, most that I've seen friends with issues and stuff like that are self taught. Like they literally let themselves be lazy in life. You know what I'm saying? Like the college dropouts. They purposely don't put any work and then complain when they don't get chances for work. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Which is always weird because for me, I always believed you can just get stuff if you work for it. So why not do it? It's like, I don't know. It's one of those things where I think I have too much common sense. Like too much common sense to be affected by normal problems because most of them are insignificant, like being lazy and shit. Like you just work it once and then you will not regret it. But for some reason, people take decades to learn that simple thing that I've learned since 1 year old. Like I'm not even kidding about that. Oh, well, maybe
yeah,
some people are just dumb. I
yeah,
accepted that fact. Except what I didn't accept is how many of them do the same problem when it's such an easy answer. Who knows, man? Who knows?
yeah. But that's just how the cookie crumbles.
You and that cookie reference, man.
You know,
Never understood why people say the cookie
I
crumbles.
like a good
I don't
cookie.
get it.
You don't get
The-
it. Okay,
Hey,
so
listen, everyone does. You know what I'm saying? Like no one hates cookies unless
yeah.
they have almonds or raisins. Then yeah, I might murder someone.
Oh man,
Literally, might kill someone
I
for
love
it.
some raisin cookies. Mm.
Hey, that's good for you. I mean, I myself don't hate raisin cookies. I just hate my friends who are like, "Hey, you love chocolate, right?" It's like, "Yeah, fam, I do. Here's a chocolate cookie, but it has raisins in it." It's like, then it's not a chocolate cookie though. It's like, you know what I mean? The kind where he
Oh,
invites you for food
they
and then he
troll
fucks with
you
you.
because
Yes.
the raisin, since it's cooked, it looks like it might be chocolate, but it's actually a raisin.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
except here's the thing. Back in the good old days, right? You can always hang out with your friends, but now you literally gotta plan 2 months ahead of time to hang out with someone. So when I spend a weekend planning our meetup and then you screw with me like that, then nah, bro, you get
yeah,
murked. We
yeah.
literally have fights every time we meet each other. Yeah, I'll give you a reference. The Seven Deadly Sins, right?
I
Have you,
haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, have you seen? Never watched it. All right.
Yeah, I haven't read it
I'm gonna
either.
give you a thing. There
Yeah,
are two main characters, right?
Yeah.
that meet each other under the most unusual circumstances, right? And
Okay.
they do the best thing I have seen with your homies when you haven't seen them for like 10 years. They look at each other, right? They do that stand thing, like in JoJo, or probably intimidating your opponent, right?
Yeah.
And then what they do is that they immediately cheer up and act like 5 year olds, like, "Yo, bro, I haven't seen you in 10 days." They run to each other, do the patty cake. I still don't get why they do patty cake. Right? They like handshake each other using patty cake for some weird reason, right? And then they do the best thing that I've actually tested myself with my friends before. Guess what they do?
I have no idea. I haven't read it. I haven't seen it.
After they do patty cake, they immediately punch each other in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's and they do the honorable thing where you slam the shit out of your friend and then you get up, right? And then the friend slams you back, and then you kind of go back and forth for like 3, 5 hits, and then you arm wrestle each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was the best thing I've seen in this first season because that's how I hang out with my friends. Whenever we screw each other over with pranks, that's how we do it. We literally do the One Piece thing where because we're honorable or stupid, usually that's actually the right case, we don't fight, we just swing at each other in like a turn based system, which is stupidly hilarious because my friends always, female ones, because of course they ain't that retarded, right? They always ask why you do this. Like, why do you purposely let each other hit yourselves in a way? And we have the best answer for it. You want to know what our answer is?
I don't know. You tell me.
We have what we tell them is that's how we best friends fight. And then they just face palm and like you can't really deny that, you know? Sometimes when you're best friends with someone for 20 years, you just are retarded. You know what I'm saying? You just do retarded shit with each other. They can't deny it because, like, let's be real, best friends do stupid shit together. While at the same time, it's an honorable way to fight. You know, take turns.
Yeah. Take turns.
Except, you know what's funny about it?
Tell me.
No one wins.
No one
No one wins.
wins.
No,
Okay.
no, no. Here's the thing: we've never actually won a fight with each other. Whenever I do that with a friend of mine, we never won any fights. We always either knock each other out by the first swing, or we go on a standstill and just admit a draw. No one ever actually wins a match.
Yeah. Speaking of fighting, the
Yeah.
other day I was leading a martial arts class as
Oh damn.
yeah, the leader, the master had to go somewhere, so he called me in, and I went in there, and I led them lads. Some of them were kids, some of them adults, and we did some exercising. So got to the point where we were starting to spar a bit. We were having some fights, and I was doing a cool 2-on-1 bit. Uh,
Wait, you fought two people at once?
well, I organized it so everyone would have to fight two people at once.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good way to train people,
Yeah,
just
it
in
is.
case they might be getting jumped. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there was this one young lad who uh, who was pretty new there, and then it came time for him to 2v1, and
This should
I
be fun.
I was up against him, of course, because I put myself in there just to make things interesting, and at some point he let out a little scream, a little shriek as he was running away, and at that point,
Yeah.
that's when I started yelling and shouting. I was
Why?
just
It's
you
intimidation.
know, intimidation. I was going, ah! Yeah,
You know
just
what's
really
funny? We've
take him
actually,
down.
me and my squad, right? We've
Yeah.
actually done that to kids whenever we fight kids, because for a lot of us, right, we have that mentality of if you're over the age of smugness, then you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's quite simple, really. When a kid does something and then laughs about it, you can't excuse his age at that point because he knows what the fuck he'd be doing, right? So what we do in fights with kids is that we do exactly what you just did. We try to intimidate him in fights.
Yeah. Well, in this case, I was trying. I noticed he was getting spooked, and
Yep.
uh, and I went in for the kill. But no, I didn't actually hit him or hurt him or anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I know. Just because it says going for the kill doesn't mean you kill a nigga.
yeah.
I learned that from personal
But
experience, by the way. Because I would usually go in for the kill with people, but it's usually ends up being pretty sus.
yeah,
Don't ask.
he was running away and chased him down.
Actually, funny enough, no. For me, whenever I go for the kill, it's usually in one of the weirder ways where I would T-bone the shit out of a nigga, right?
Yeah.
And then I would grab them. But usually, here's the thing. You want to know why it's a bit sus?
Tell me.
It's usually guys because obviously those are the niggas that are gonna get hit from behind. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is, and this is the funny part, they always yell rape, which is why it's sus. Because when my friends see me, they're like, I want to call bullshit, but it's you, so I don't actually know what you've been doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the funny thing with me and my friends: we talk so much shit that you can't actually tell if we're fucking with you or we're talking real shit. You know what I'm saying? So when I grab a nigga from behind, right, and he starts yelling, like not kill me or I'm being beat, no, he just starts yelling rape. Some of my friends have actually asked me, does that happen? Like, do you actually screw with them? And I give them the best answer. You want to know what it is?
Tell me.
I tell them it's up to interpretation. Because that's actually an accurate response. Sometimes people can assume you're trying to T-bone or doggy style someone, while at the same time, from your perspective, you're just holding them from behind. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't trying to do nothing sus. It just looks sus, which is a situation that I've been in more times than I would actually love to admit, even though I am damn sus.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just say females have more respect. By that I mean if you beat the shit out of them, they just kind of cry or run away.
Yeah.
So they ain't trying to accuse you of shit because they know they rat shit. Like they started this and they're gonna end it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then I showed everyone my
Special move.
1 inch elbow board break.
Damn, that sounds like a karate move.
Well, it's when you hit something. Uh,
Yeah.
because Bruce Lee used to do this.
Oh.
He would be
Oh.
able to punch you from a very close range and hit you very hard, even though he's not moving very far to hit you.
Oh yeah,
And
like he's not going for a swing. It's more like just the force of the hit. Yeah, I got
yeah,
you.
it's just very close range, very fast, but it hits really, really hard. And that's what I
Yeah, I
was
mean,
doing.
think about it. Speed really does amplify the force of an attack. You don't necessarily need to go for a full distance swing,
Yeah,
especially when speaking of personal experience, right? If we actually charge you, that'll actually do less damage if we were to just swing at you real quick, because literally drag and the momentum of our attack slows down because we're going for
yeah.
like a whole like charge, like
and
we're in
and it
football.
also depends on how much weight you can put behind your attack.
Yeah,
So you need to really be able to put your whole body behind it.
yeah. Well, what's
So
funny
I
is
was doing
that
that with my
for me,
elbow that just broke it from really close range.
wait, you break people's elbows
No, I broke a
in
board
attack?
at very
Oh,
close
damn.
range. Although I could probably break someone's elbow that way too, but that wouldn't be
Yeah,
very fun for them or me, since
yeah. Don't do that.
that's actually probably a pretty painful place
Funnily
to
enough,
hit.
I've actually gotten really close to doing that to someone, real quick. Do you want me to hit you up with a small story? Don't worry, it's not like the last one with the transgenders. It's actually just a 3 minute, 3 word
Okay.
story. All right. So the three stories, it's actually a very quick 3 sentence takedown. All right. It's called the three warn system. Okay, I think I've talked about this before. Anyway, so I'll hit you up with the story. Basically, me and my friend, right, were hanging out at the bus station because we like to take the bus because the city's pretty huge and we like to go to different places, right? So you know how in bus stations usually you have bratty kids and moms who are on the phone all the damn time, right?
Yeah.
Which is I think just a fact at this point, right? You know how they have priority seats for the
Pri-
disabled?
oh yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. As for me, I don't always pick those seats, even though I am disabled. I only pick it half the time whenever I'm like in pain or my legs acting up, right?
Yeah, and that's good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Not
here's the
that you're in
thing.
pain, but that you
Yeah,
don't
yeah, I
use
know,
it
I know.
if you don't need it.
Yeah, I know. It's because respect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes a guy will show up and he's fully fucking paralyzed, and even if my leg will hurt, I will give that nigga my spot because, like, bruh, you had it worse than me, even though we're both fucked. So respect, and here's my seat. You know what I'm saying? We have that disability respect. We're disabled people respect each other based on what you're being disabled with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we're kind of all in this together. You know what I'm saying? High School Musical reference.
Yeah.
Uh, so here's the thing: priority seats are interesting in the fact that a lot of people notice when you take them or not, you know, because they pay attention to that, like who is on the bus, who needs help. Because sometimes you would have those people, right? Well, there's too many disabled people and not enough seats. So you would see who wants to take it, so you can actually give them your seat. You know what I'm saying? So you can just stand up. So here's the thing. A woman showed up, right, on the phone with her bratty kid. This is just like a normal weekend at this fucking point, right? She showed up and she saw me, a disabled guy in a wheelchair, and my friend. Okay, so here's the story. Me and my friend were talking. Now, this nigga, right? He was in a wheelchair. He was actually black, and he was a friend. He used to be a friend, just kind of a homeboy in the town.
The
Now, here's the
homeboy.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that day, right? Me and my friend were gonna go to a skating ring or a place to hang out, really. Here's the thing. I wasn't feeling pain that day, so I was feeling a bit generous and gave the homeboy my seat, even though, you know, he was already in a wheelchair, I can just sit in that one. I gave him my priority seat. Now, here's where the woman showed up. She showed up, and the kid wanted that seat because it was like in the front of the bus. You know what I'm saying? Next to the bus driver, and the kid was just having fun. Now, here's the thing. Because I wasn't feeling pain, I was kind of up to just standing up. You know what I'm saying? I was up for it.
Yeah.
And because of that, the woman find that a bit weird. Here's the story. She showed up, said, "Hey, my kid wants that seat. Can you give it to him?" You see, for me, I give people a lot of benefit of the doubt because sometimes kids are the instigators rather than the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Like it isn't the mom who's being a dick and the kid's like, "Mom, calm down." It's like usually the opposite. The kid is being a dick and the mom is just trying to calm her kid down while also not trying to beat his ass like black parents. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like I said last time, we're a bit more British in the fact we want to be kind, even though our kids usually don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So here's the situation. The mom wanted that seat for her kid. I told her I would give it to you, but my friend needs it more. And here's the reason why she started talking shit. Now here's the thing. Because I told you it was my seat originally and I could completely stand up, right? She was trying to call me a liar because she literally saw that I was completely fine. Because if you see me, you'd see I'm completely fine, unless you were behind me and I started walking. Then you see just how, like, at an angle, I actually walk. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys where, because of the surgery worked, I literally look completely normal unless I start acting disabled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which is something that she couldn't understand because she assumed I was faking the shits. And here's where the fun begins. Okay, so she gets rid of her phone, says, "Please, can you let my kid sit?" I was like, "Sorry, miss, that can't happen because I'm giving it to my friend. I would love to." Like, here's the thing. I said I would love to, and I actually triggered her because it implied that I could easily give it to you and not need it, rather than, "Sorry, my legs really hurt. I can't." You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. She took it as like a form of you could do it, but you didn't because you're a dick, even though it's the exact opposite. You can't do it, but you're feeling generous. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give it to my friend. I take him away from the wheelchair, and then I kind of like put him on the seat, and then kind of fold his wheelchair so it can be put underneath the seat, right? Fold the wheels, basically. So after he sits down and relax, and he's kind of old, so he really is kind of jittery and kind of gets scared easily because these people keep yelling at him and stuff like that. Okay, so here's the deal. The woman showed up, starts talking smack. I told her no, and then she gives me one of the best excuses I've ever heard of of why she needs that wheelchair.
Let's hear it.
You want? Okay, she tells me this. You can stand and he can sit, so why can't my kid have it? And you know why that was the best response I've ever heard? Is because it seemed genuine. Like she genuinely thought that because I can stand up, I have no physical problems ever. Like she assumed that unless your legs are cut off and you can stand completely without crutches, then you don't deserve to be called disabled because you've worked up enough courage or enough training. Like for me, personally, I used to do stuff like walking. You know those things where you can't walk, so you kind of have a stilts, and you just walk between a bar 2 or 3 times to get back into the rhythm of walking,
Yeah,
right?
physical therapy. Yeah,
So yeah, physical therapy that. Except it was slightly different because it was more like muscle memory and training my muscles to regain the strength they had. It's not like I couldn't walk; I just couldn't walk as fast as I used to, because I was like in the cast. Yeah, I was in a cast for 6 months. So because I could stand up and that guy could just sit in his wheelchair, she assumed by default that we were not disabled, which was the funniest response because the other people and my friend were so shocked. They were like, does this bitch not understand what disabled means? It doesn't mean that you have to literally be deformed. It means you were born deformed and working on it. And just because you worked on it doesn't mean it disappeared. It's like depression. Just because I worked through it doesn't mean it never happened. You know what I'm saying? Which
yeah,
was so funny because she implied that literally we worked through it and that kid can sit down so my kid can have it. And here's the funny response. I told her we work through it, but that doesn't mean it disappears. So why do you need it? Like I'm like, why do you need the chair, or why does your kid need the chair? And here's the response that the reason why people think I'm a bit of a psychopath, which they ain't lying about it, right? The mother tells me that stupid thing that I swear to God is made up, but for some reason people actually do. It's like the whole hipster shit where you assume that's how they talk, and you can kind of call bullshit on, but that's actually what they do. Here's the response. My kid had good grades, so he deserves the C. Like that's literally her response. And here's the thing with me. At that point, there were three responses. I either face palmed, wailed the shit out of this bitch, or broke her kid's legs. Like that's my top three responses, which is why people think I'm a bit of a psychopath. And they're not wrong, but here's the thing with me. I only get really angry if you disrespect my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, by the way, I don't have biological brothers. I have brothers in arms, which are either the squad, family members like cousins, or disabled people. These are the people that I value the top three most in the world.
yeah,
And because of it, if you disrespect one of my homies, it's like you just spat in my grandmother's face. Which means you're about to fucking die if you don't literally immediately apologize, right? Now here's the thing. After she gave me that response, and my friend was actually about to kill this bitch because he also is like very protective of me because I am like his younger brother, you know what I'm saying? Plus he isn't disabled, so he kind of like, backs me up whenever we get in these situations because he would understand that if we were to fight, I would be more hurt than him because of my like weakness, you know what I'm saying? Because my legs are very weak, if you literally trip me, I would actually might get like bruised or broken legs, like easier than normal people. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So because of this, he usually backs me up. Now here's the thing. We did that squad thing where we want to assault someone, but we rig the game, okay? Do you want to know details? Because it's actually a very cool technique I've developed and a thing we do, like I said earlier, with the squad and cops being my friends. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But here's the thing. I'll tell the audience specifically. If you want to assault someone, always calculate it. Like, okay, before you start talking shit or telling me, no, you can't do that, or what are you talking about? Here, I'll explain. For me personally, I always get into fights, but at the same time, I only ever assault people who deserve it, like this chick, right? But here's the thing. I also respect the cops and the laws in a way that I don't just beat the chick up, even though I can. Instead, I entice her or interrogate her in a way that makes her fight me first. So that way it's like self defense, right?
yes,
Okay, now here's the thing. There are advantages to being a bit disabled. One, you kind of get a bit more leeway with the cops, especially if she starts the fight. That way they can like call you an assaultant or charge you with assault on a minor or something like the kid. because you're kind of disabled and you can call it just self-defense because sometimes that was genuinely the case. I literally don't fight him, I just defend my legs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, another thing, here's the cool thing about self-defense. It is easy to do, hard to master. You can easily just call something self-defense, but at the same time, if you know psychology and therapy in a way that people think, you can make it so that you are the victim even though you started the fight. That's something I actually learned to do to get out of situations like this. Because if I didn't, I would have like 55 assault charges by this point. You know what I'm saying? So here, I'll continue the story. It was supposed to be quick, but hey, gotta go into them details. You know what I'm saying? All right. So the chick told me, "Your kid has good grades, so he deserves the C." And then I hit her with the three questions. Number one, is your kid disabled? Which she says, no, my little baby can never be disabled. He's perfect, which is something she actually said because she's fucking retarded. Number two was, why do you think you deserve it more than the people it was designed for? You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
then she hits me with that second retarded thing that I swear to God is made up. My kid deserves it because he's an angel and a perfect child. I was like, this is why I say people are retarded because I actually have no idea whether they're defective or they just genuinely think that's how the world works. You know what I'm saying? Because for me personally, I meet these people a lot, but at the same time, I gotta ask, are these fucking video game villains? Like, do you literally gotta program their childhood from default to make them like this? Because for me personally, meeting someone like this, I already feel sorry for them because I'm like, how sheltered of a life and childhood did you have to get to think like this? Because for me, you don't just think you're entitled to this shit. You gotta have it programmed into you from a young age. You don't just automatically want shit and believe it's yours. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, there's common sense. You don't just delete that from a kid's brain unless you program him, or more accurately, give him everything he wants to the point where he doesn't have to think about it. So I always ask, did these people retarded or did they genuinely think like this? Which surprisingly, 50% don't and 50% do. By that I mean when I fuck them up, 50% apologize and say they'll change, and 50% just still do bullshit gay slurs at me for some weird reason. Which, by the way, they ain't wrong. I got the squad, so they can say gay slurs. I will actually accept those. But at the same time, if you say nigga, I'm gonna beat that ass. All right. So here's the thing. I get hit her with the third and most important question, and this question determines whether or not I'm gonna beat your ass. All right. Now
Okay.
this question is very important. Okay, here's what I told her. I told her, Miss, do you genuinely think everyone here gives a shit about what your little kid wants? Like, genuine question. And based on her answer is whether or not she gets wrong. Because there's a difference, right? Between a mom who just thinks her kid is perfect and doesn't give a shit what other people think, and a mom who genuinely thinks she's a queen and everyone is like entitled to respect her. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people who don't want people to respect them. No, they expect you to respect them without earning shit. Like they like queens and heirs and shit for a kingdom. They just automatically want you to respect them by default without actually earning it or even knowing what respect means. They just want people to do what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like they order
Yeah.
you without knowing that, bitch, I'm the cop or I'm the disabled nigga. I should be the one ordering your ass. So after that, right, she tells me that one of the best answers again. Guess what she says? She says, I'm a hardworking citizen and I work twice as much as your ass does, you entitled brat. And my kid wants it, so he gets it. I don't care if that black old bastard wants it. He's gonna die soon. I'm gonna take that fucking chair. And guess what happened? The best thing happened, right? That was the best answer I've seen. So I do the signal. All right. For those who do not know, there's a specific signal that you give to people, right? Or at least in my area, where you tell them shit's about to go down, so you either join in or fuck off. I gave him that signal, and guess what happened afterwards? Everybody clapped. But by clapped, I mean they smirked. Here's what happened in sequence. One, the bus driver stopped the car. Two, three people called the cops. And three, the other three people were getting the disabled guy away from us. Because that was that moment, right? Where just like in JoJo, a fight is about to break down. So you either get the fuck out of the field or join in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I told my friend, what type of fight do you want to have? Like whispered to him. Because we have one of three fights. It's either one against everyone, where because it's a kid, I mean one against a mom and a kid is like not even a challenge, right? Or two against two, where he takes care of the kid and I consult the mom. Or number three, which is usually the one we actually go for, which is just jump the shit out of how many motherfuckers exist. You know what I'm saying? Just jump them. And luckily, we picked number two because he saw that I was getting really pissed. Which, by the way, again, if you tell my black old friend, who's by the way very jittery and is the equivalent of a goddamn war hero, you don't tell that nigga he's about to die soon, so I would take a share. Because if you say that in front of me, you are guaranteed fucked, like straight up. The funny thing with me is I have a lot of self control, despite the fact that I really get into a lot of fights. But that's only because I genuinely don't want to murder someone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm that kind of guy who gets a lot of strength. Like, he's very capable of killing you, but at the same time has a lot of respect for humanity to the point where he, even though you deserve it, won't actually go to that extreme. You want to know why?
Tell me.
Because getting you in prison for 50 years and dropping the soap is a lot better response. Like that's actually a thing that I talk to my friends with when we start fighting people in the street and shit, or like going to random fights with the homies. We're like, why don't you actually commit murder or break his bones? Like when I fight, I don't physically go for the weak spots. Instead, I just take you down very quickly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like rather than break your arm, I'll just hit you in the joints. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like don't give him serious wounds. And then when they asked, I was given the answer, which is, by the way, very funny. And my friends like relate to it. It's like, why don't you fight them? It's like because just like in black countrysides or the ghettos, right? Getting that person charged with something like weed and shit, and getting him in prison is a lot better of a like an achievement than actually beating him up. Because just like in the hood, most people are so used to fights that taking an L is not even a problem. But going to prison and dropping this up, yeah, that'll scare anybody straight, no matter who the fuck he is. You know what I'm saying? Because they might be down with the hood, but they ain't down with the gay shit. Because in prison, there's no rules, man. If you drop the soap, you drop that damn soap. Okay, so here's the thing. The fight begins, actually. So what happened was, I told my friend to get the kid. And then for me, I went up to the mom. Now, here's where the three rule or three warning takedown happens. I warn her first. I'm like, Miss, please stop, or I will fucking kill you. Like, that's always my first response, because I genuinely mean it. Like, if you get me pissed off enough, I will genuinely just black out and kill you in straight up rage. Don't worry, I've never officially killed someone, but god damn it, did I get close with breaking every bone in his body. So, here's the thing. I told her, please calm down, and then she hits me with that gay shit. She's like, you little nigger don't deserve that seat because I can see you walking. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm referring to in the previous statement where I said because I can walk, people don't assume I'm disabled. You know what I'm saying? She assumed I lied. So she's like, you little nigger, you don't deserve to actually stand up. And my kid deserves it more than you and should leave you and that old guy.
Yeah.
And here's the situation where it's always funny because they always resort to rape, which is, I mean, convenient. Like, it's a convenient alibi for females. But at the same time, it's always weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is rape always the first thing, like, you do when I assault you? Because I'm like, bruh, first off, you asked for this. Second off, rape doesn't actually happen if it's not, like, consensual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't trying to rape a nigga. I'm just trying to beat that ass. There's a difference. And third, how do you charge a guy when you're the one getting your ass beat and every witness is actually into it? Like, he's with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
every witness around is actually telling me, yeah, beat her ass rather than stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you get it? Which is always funny to me because I'm like, do you just assume like your opinion is fact, like because your side of the story is I assaulted you and you don't deserve it, means that the cop will automatically go with you. This isn't the hood where because the victim is white and the assaultant is black that you have a form of advantage. You know what I'm saying? And even if that was the case, which by the way was the case because I'm brown and that chick was white, which is fucking ironic, right? That doesn't mean that the cop will just immediately say, "Hey, you're black, you're at fault." You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not how racism even works at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, especially here in the countryside, this ain't the ghettos that much. You know, this isn't like a police brutality kind of a situation. All right. So I warn her. She says this shit, and then I give her the bitch slap because I value the word of a good bitch slap. You know what I'm saying? I warn you first. I talk you down. If you don't want to hear it, then I bitch slap you. So I give her that bitch slap, and then here's the thing: she hits me with that disrespect, which is very fucking ironic, by the way, because she's like, because I'm older than you, you should by default respect me, which is always ironic for these fuckers because it's like says the person who is assaulting verbally, by the way, verbally, let's make that clear. She didn't actually hit us, but she did say a lot of racist shit. Uh, Verbally assaulting two disabled brown people. Like, really, my nigga? I was giving that face. I'm like, boy, if you don't get your ass out of here. Like, seriously, you're calling bullshit and disrespect while you're disrespecting two grown ass disabled people. Like, word, my nigga. And afterwards, after she hits me with that disrespect, guess what I hit her with? I'm like, disrespect doesn't mean shit if you're dead. Like, straight up, because I will like physically murder someone if they go that far. There's a limit to someone's patience. So I told her, disrespect doesn't care if you're dead. And here's the funny thing where my squad mate shows up, right? He actually, by this point, right, grabbed the kid and sat his ass down on the ground because the kid was actually during this whole thing was kicking up a fuss and actually trying to pry the old guy out of the seat. Now,
Yeah.
now here's the thing. Like I said, my best friend, right, my homie, is better at fighting than I am when it comes to this situation. And because of this, I let him take care of the children because he knows that if the kid fights me and hits my leg and bruises it, because remember, I just got done with fucking surgeries, I don't want to make it worse, right? If he fights me, I don't hold back. Like with kids and adults, I don't hold back because if you're conscious enough to physically choose to do something, then you are by default gonna abide by the rules of you do it so you get the consequences. You know what I'm saying? You're not just a kid who hits a disabled old guy or tries to pry him off a seat that he rightfully deserves and then complain that you're 5 and can't get hurt. Nah, nigga, that ain't how it works. You're a disabled guy, you're gonna get disabled, you motherfucker. That's not actually the response I hit kids with. So the
Yeah.
kid gets dropped. By the way, not drop kicked. I wish. I seriously wish. No, he doesn't get drop kicked. Instead, he gets put in a the arm thing where you put a guy's arm behind his back, right?
Yeah.
Now, so he puts that kid in that position and he sits his ass on the ground because remember, by this point, people have already called the cops. And according to the story, they're like halfway to get in here. There's still some punches left. So he puts it here, and this is where the mom fucking snaps, which is always the moment I'm waiting for. You know why? Because I personally antagonize her to hit me. Now here's the situation where assault can work. It's quite simple. You need her to hit you first in order to call it self-defense. You know what I'm saying? So after the kid gets put on the ground and the guys literally tell him, "Hey, just be quiet," because remember he's actually kind to kids, but with kids like these, he's gonna get dropped. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't hurt them, but he will fuck them up if they disrespect more people. Because sometimes I get the idea that discipline doesn't always work for children, but sometimes, again, the value of a good bitch slap, you know what I'm saying? That's why I say Black Combs, man. You gotta beat a kid sometimes for him to listen. You can't just verbally tell him no if he's that fucking screwed up with his mom. So after that, guess what the woman does? She does one of the most hilarious 5-year-old things I've ever seen. You wanna know?
Tell me.
She starts screeching like a banshee and literally yelling every accusation you can possibly have. Which, again, I don't know what the fuck she is on. I swear to God, they're on cocaine, man. So here's the thing: she sees her kid being pinned down by my friend and just starts going off and screeching. She's like, "What are you doing to my kid? This is my baby. You can't hurt them. This is rape. This is rape. You little niggers. This is bullshit." And she just starts yelling every slur she can find and every accusation. She accuses us of rape. of gangbanging a kid, of pedophilia, of assault, everything, nigga. Even though, again, we haven't swung at these chicks. By the way, woman and kid. By the way, we haven't swung on these niggas at all. Like I only slapped her a small slap, and the kid he just got put down because he was disturbing an old guy. Like we didn't physically fight them and dressed up to nothing that would actually get us in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And that's the key factor. We make it so it's like a slow burn. You know what I'm saying? We don't just immediately beat the kids because if we did, even the people who are cheering for us to stop these fuckers would actually say, "Hey, you've actually went too far." I mean, come on. I know he's a kid and he's an idiot, but it doesn't mean you slap him first. You tell him, then you slap him. You know what I'm saying? Which is like a common thing you do with kids. Like everyone know that you talk to him first, then you slap him. So afterwards, the funniest part happened. She swung at me. That's the funny part. Because after she was talking that gay slurs, I was doing that thing where you're either shut up and look at their moveset because then you know that after she starts screeching, she's probably going to swing at you, or B, try to calm her down. Now, I was stupid that day, right? And tried to actually calm her down. Because remember, while I am willing to fight, I'm also willing to get to like a peaceful outcome. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just trying to automatically fight you. Because remember, I was having a good day until these fuckers showed up.
Yeah.
So I try to calm her down. And that's actually my problem. That's actually like the stupid thing I did. When you try to calm an old crazy bitch like this, it always backfires because she just assumes you're weak and starts reaching at you even worse. It reminds me of like customer service when you try to actually logic with the customer and then he just calls you stupid and part-time employee and get your manager type shit, which is always stupid. Like nigga, if you don't calm your ass down, you're about to get fucked. This is why actually I always have ratchet homies because they know a value of a good bitch slap, except they go all out. So I try to calm this chick down. She doesn't listen, and then she swings at me. Now here's the thing: because there were what's it called? Because there were fuck, I forgot the term. Because there were witnesses, yeah, witnesses. Because there were witnesses around, I actually dodged the punch. Because remember, this is an old chick. She just tries to swing like a 5-year-old swing. You know what I'm saying? Just like playfully pat you rather than actually go for a fist fight. Now, here's the thing. Here's the distinct difference. If you're gonna fight someone and there's no witnesses, you actually let yourself get bruised, so that when the police show up, you tell them she swung first, show them the evidence, and then show him her dismantled body. You know what I'm saying? But if there's witnesses, you don't necessarily need to take a hit for it to be counted as actual proof that you got hit. You can just have the people say, "Hey, she swung at him first. He just dodged." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Important distinction. So I dodged this chick. I told her to calm down, or she's gonna get dropped. She doesn't listen, and then I hit her with that combo. Now here's the combo. After the bitch slap, you know what I'm saying? After the first swing, if you don't listen, I actually stole the shit out of you. Like I go, like you said before with the elbow thing, I go a full frontal fist swing at a nigga, and then after I swung at her, she actually almost blacked out, which is always hilarious because at the very least she would have shut the fuck up. But no. Swung at her, she hit the ground, and yeah. Here's the funny thing: rather than start crying, maybe shut the fuck up, and no, she gets back up. She gets back up and assumes that a fight's about to break down. So she actually starts swinging back at me. Now here's the distinction. Because I told you earlier that I hit people a lot, I have fighting experience to an extent, you know what I'm saying? When it
Yeah.
comes to people like these. So, just like in an actual fight, and this is something that some of my cop friends told me. They said, "Bruh, when you're 20 times stronger than your opponent, you don't always need to fuck them up completely. You can just like do the thing where you're a martial arts master and they're new, just knock them out, and that's good enough." You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I do kind of go overboard where I'm like, I could have stopped the fight at any time, but I chose to beat you within an inch of your life. You know what I'm saying? Which is something
Yeah.
my friends told me. They're like, "Listen, we get it. It's self-defense, but at the same time, don't always break them up because at this point they might sue you. Like remember, if you're strong enough, you can just go halfway of an ass beating, not all the way." But I wasn't having it that day. The bitch literally disrespected my old friend. Nah, she ain't disrespecting the war hero. Fuck out of here, boy. Yeah. So after she got up, we got into a fist fight. Except here's the difference. With ratchet females, The best way to have a fist fight, right, is rather than them just randomly swinging and you trying to catch their hands, you go for that weave. Like straight up, you go for that weave. So what happened was I did that stupid thing where it's just like a dog. You drag her ass out the bus and throw her out, like straight up, because I wasn't actually wanting to beat that ass because the kid was 5. You know, I didn't want him to have a disabled mom at this point. Because while that was my intention, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, if you're gonna disrespect a nigga, get his status so you can learn it from his point of view. You know what I'm saying? Which is something I've actually told a bunch of people. I'm like, if you're gonna disrespect a disabled person, try seeing it from their perspective. You know what I'm saying? And for ratchet people, actually beat them to the point where they have a broken arm and then see it from his perspective. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to end to paralyze anyone, just halfway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. After this woman swung at me, I put her in that hole that my friend did to the kid, right? And then afterwards, I just dragged her ass by the hair and threw her out the bus. Straight up, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of kid, by the way, during this situation, if I recall correctly, during the situation, after the kid was on that hold, remember, my friend didn't beat him or anything. He just had him on the ground. After the kid saw his mom, going on the ground, guess what he did? He hit my friend in the balls, which is always a disrespectful move. I mean, come on, man. If we're chivalrous enough to only hold you rather than beat you, then you don't hit a nigga in the balls. You know what I'm saying? But luckily, they Gucci to the max, so it didn't hurt that much. Thank God. Unlike Anavultus. You know what I'm saying? So my friend was actually completely fine. Well, as fine as you can get with getting hit in the nuts. Uh, uh, Guess what actually happened? After I threw her ass off the bus, right?
Yeah.
The kid actually tried to swing at me. Because remember, he got away from my friend's hold and then tried to hit me because I dragged his stupid mom off the bus. After I threw her ass off the bus, I threw the kid off the bus. Except his main difference, he actually almost got a concussion. Because he tried to swing at my legs, and you know me instinctively kick someone if he fucks with my legs. So I grabbed the kid, and yeah, I drop kick his ass off the bus. Well, you know, legit grab him by the arms and kick him off the bus, straight up. After they were both on the ground, I did that cool pose thing where uh, after you style on your opponent, you try to give them some sort of moral advice on how to not fuck up next time. And yeah, that's what would happen. I showed up and told him, listen, if you're gonna disrespect more people, the next time I won't go easy on you, which was an actual fact. Because the next time I saw these motherfuckers, I beat their ass so hard you don't even know. Uh, After I beat the shit out of them, the cops showed up. Yeah, they were just outside the bus, and guess what happened? And this is the funniest part of them all. Guess who showed up? From the cops, by the way. Guess who showed up? Okay, so we were near like the ghetto area, like the bus station, right? Because it was near the skating ring. Uh, One of my actual squad mates, right, the cop friend,
Yeah.
he's the one who actually showed up to the scene. And as soon as he showed up, yeah, I started bawling, man. I started bawling and laughing my ass off. You know why? Because he did that protagonist thing where you have a protagonist friend who does stupid shit to the point where just facepalm and not surprised at this point, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
rather than actually getting a gun or saying everyone freeze or what's going on here, he just saw me, I saw him, I smirked, he facepalmed and said, bruh, it's you again. I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, you already know. I legit says that because, you know, he's Gucci with me, so he kind of lets me get a bit of a leeway. But not too much, because remember, if I actually assault you, you should fucking charge me. You don't just get leeway just because you're friends of a cop, you know what I'm saying? Because at
Yeah.
that point, I'm no better than them, you know what I'm saying? Entitled to not get them to prison, even though I'm the one who beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how it works. So he facepalm says me. I'm like, bro, it's always me, nigga. He ain't surprised at this point. He says, okay, what situation this time? And then I give him the signal. It's like, oh fuck, it's this bitch. Yep. I told him because remember this happened a bunch of times before. So we have that symbol where we literally tell each other codes. You know what I'm saying? Like in the army, rather than just saying, hey, it's assault or hey, it's kidnapping. I just tell him it's a 52 B outcome. You know, where we both take on one and I beat her ass. It's like, okay, it told me, are there any victims? Because remember, if I with the B outcome, it implies that they swung first. So he wanted to know whether or not there was someone actually getting hurt, or it was just me playing the martyr or something, or the instigator, where I just immediately call you bullshit so I can beat your ass for free. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I told him it was Jason, and yeah, that homie was actually disabled. Yeah, they swung at him, you know what I'm saying? The kid was being disrespectful. And all that bullshit you tell the cops to kind of seem sympathetic, but at the same time, he actually charged me. Like I said, he was a friend, but he definitely charged me. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the like a fine of like $2 to $20 or some shit, which was actually a very low fine, but that was only because of the witnesses. Remember, if you have good witnesses, then they can kind of instigate the story for you. Remember, because he was a friend and he didn't want me to get into prison, so he told me, I'll just give you a fine for assaulting the kid. But the mom, yeah, she fucking deserved it, man. Which was actually cool of him, because remember, usually they would fine you for each person you assaulted, but now he fined me for the kid, because you can't just beat on a kid like you do on a parent. At least for other people, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. Yes.
Yeah. So he kind of fined me for just kicking the kid, but at the same time, I told him specifics, and here's where the details matter. Because remember, while societal standards say you can't hit a kid, at the same time, it does imply that if a kid disrespects you and hits a disabled person, then kind of all bets are off. You know what I'm saying? Like he at that point he deserves it. You shouldn't give him leeway if he did it that fucking bad. Because at that point you become the bad guy for letting a literal brat get away with murder. Like that kind of situation. You can't let him get away with that goddamn much, you know what I'm saying? Give him a bit leeway like me, but not too much. So he fined me for like it wasn't actually $20, it was like $500 for assaulting the kid because it was a kid. It was like five, so really low minor. But at the same time, thanks to the witnesses and the thing, and guess what? I sued her ass. Yeah, yeah. We actually had a funny thing where we both sued each other. Well, she sued me for assault. I sued her for assault. But the main difference was I won the case. You want to know why?
Why?
I had overwhelming evidence. Because remember, she accused me of rape, being a pedophile, assaulting her kid, and a bunch of other shit. But I assaulted her for hurting. I didn't even assault her for hurting me. I assaulted her mainly for hurting my disabled friend, as well as causing disturbance, and also with the other third charge, which was obstruction of property. Because she literally started owning the fucking bus, like she's owning, acting like she owned the fucking bus and didn't care if it get destroyed during the fight. You know what I'm saying? So I charged her with those two things, and luckily, when we went to the case, the guy was actually Gucci, like the judge. He was actually fine with me because remember, being in a courtroom implies that you're going to talk about a case, so you should always act calm. And for some reason, the old bitch didn't know that. So when she started screeching and yelling rape and charging me with rape allegations and shit, and funnily enough, half of the people that were on the bus, right,
Yeah.
were actually in the courtroom because they were my witnesses. They were part of the evidence for my case. I didn't have a lawyer. I was my own fucking lawyer because, bitch, I don't need one for this situation. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and my disabled friend, yeah, who's the victim? It was almost like I'm his lawyer, but again, I was the one being sued, not him. So it's like, two-way street. Afterwards, yeah, during the case, three things happened that were fucking funny as shit. Number one, she had that meltdown. You know, the one where you ain't winning shit. So you just start playing the victim and crying and saying, I'm an old woman, man. I'm a single mother. The kid is young. That guy just wanted to insult me. All I wanted to do was give him a seat. This is bullshit. It's not fair. You're friends with him. You're disabled. That doesn't mean give you leeway. I started every excuse to make it so that she has either less of a sentence or no sentence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At that point, she actually stopped trying to accuse me of shit and more like trying to just defend herself enough because I was dropping bars, during that shit. I was like, first off, fuck you, bitch. Second off, the rap song. So it was like, first off, nope, and then second off, actually, I brought legal papers because remember, if she's gonna accuse you of rape, you pull out the legal papers that says one, you're about a minor, 18, but you get the idea. Number two, she was hit and disabled, and again, I have my fucking papers that proved I was disabled, as well as my friend. So she ain't having none of that bullshit. And number three was the witnesses. They actually antagonized her as well as improved my story.
Yeah.
Because if you have witnesses, if you tell your side of the story and it gets backed up, it's proven to be more truthful than the made up shit that she accused me of. that not only didn't have any evidence, because again, how the fuck do you accuse me of rape if you were both fully clothed and the only bruises were on your face, nigga, not your butt cheeks? Come on, like, bruh, I might be getting it from behind, but there's a difference, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, again, she tried to accuse me. It was dropped because, actually, that's a thing I actually want to talk to you about. Have you ever had one of those situations, right, where you're black or not really black, but let's just say you assault a nigga and then he accuses you of having a gun? Have you ever been in those situations?
No, I
Good
have
for you,
not.
mate.
It's
Good for you,
because
mate.
yeah, I've never really been in a situation where I've had to assault anyone or anything like that.
You got lucky then. All right, I guess I just have 0 to 100 mentality, you know, 0 to 100 nigga real quick, as well as a lot more stupider people. I don't know, maybe just got lucky by not being retards half the time. But anyway, here's the thing with accusing someone of owning a pistol. You can only do it if that person actually has it. But again, because they're retarded, that doesn't cross their mind half the time. So when she accused me of hurting her and pulling the gun out, guess what happened? Everybody told her she's a bitch. Literally everyone. Me, I called bullshit. My friend called her a liar. My witnesses, yeah, I keep forgetting that word. The witnesses called bullshit, and the judge fined her ass twice. Not even kidding about that. Because remember, I just accused her of assault on my friend so I can get some of that paycheck. You know what I'm saying? To give to my friend. It's like, here's what you get for all the trouble I put you in. Sorry you had to see it. Here you go. Like, that's actually my mentality during, like, a courtroom. I don't
Yeah,
actually try to accuse you of shit. I try to find your ass. So any money I get, I give to the friend who's, like, the most traumatized during this situation. Like, he's the one who, by the way, didn't lose anything, but at the same time, the one who got like most in trouble because he didn't want shit. He just wanted to sit down, you know what I'm saying? Which is always funny. Like, here's the thing with these courtroom situations. Literally, the situation is so fucked, yet the cause is so minimal. You know what I'm saying? Like, all this happened because the nigga wanted to sit down, which is funny because when I showed up to the courtroom, I was like, bruh, is this shit really happening? Like, but we just wanted to sit down and go to the skating rink. And here we end up. This is why I say this is like a protagonist story, man. We legit don't know if this shit is rigged or this is just the most interesting life we ever had. Like, bruh, all you want to do is sit down with your homies on the skating rink and maybe get some tricks done. You know what I'm saying? But then some random bitch shows up, goes into a JoJo reference fight, and then you go to a courtroom. I swear to God, this shit is rigged. All right, so during the courtroom, when she accused me of this shit, I actually doubled the fine. The lawyer did, which actually was very cool because my friend was actually paying off some of his bills,
yeah.
his expenses, medical expenses. So it really did help his case. So afterwards, here's what happened. She got fined double, and then she started crying. And here's the thing: even though this is a fucked situation, I also still have enough human decency to not accuse her of assaulting me. Because remember, she was already fined like $700. If I would have told the judge she assaulted me, he would have probably fined her for 2,000. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point, you're not only racist and hurting the disabled guy, but you're also endangering your kids, which means social services is going to be on your fucking ass, as well as assaulting another black guy who's disabled. Like, bruh, one is an accident, second is on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mentality. So if I would have done that, she would have fine. But again, she told me single mother, so I kind of give her a break. Because remember, I'm not trying to murder you. It's just what happens when you cross the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, like I said, this is what I mean by murder. I don't physically kill you. There are always worse ways, and this was one of them. I could easily find your ass, and prison would have probably been better. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is the main difference that people should learn because sometimes it really is better, like a sweeter revenge, to put him in situations like that rather than just kill him. So I accused her of that shit. And here's the thing: on my side of the story, after I accused her, it turns out all of them were correct. So luckily, I've had that. I'm not sure if it's a bonus thing or something where the case is so on your side that the judge immediately deems you the favorable. You know what I'm saying? Like every accusation I gave her turns out to be correct, while everyone she gave me, besides the assault, was actually just bullshit. So luckily, he ruled in favor of me, fined her ass $700, and yeah, got rid of her bus pass, so she never gets on the bus ever again. And guess what? I met
What?
that bitch
Yeah.
again 6 months
Oh,
later.
wow.
Oh, and by the way, that meeting was one of the fucking sweetest, man. Okay, so it was 6 months. Do you want me to tell you how I met her ass the second time around?
Go ahead.
All right, so this is after the fucking courtroom shit where I won and then we left, and then we went skating. We were in some sick moves. Uh, Tony Hawk style, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Afterwards, it was 6 months later, and then I met this chick after. And guess what fucking happened? This time I didn't meet the bitch at the bus. I met her at the bus station, my nigga. Because remember, she couldn't ride the bus, but she still, her kid can. You know, her kid can because he's the child, so don't fucking take his bus stop, even though he was the dick who started kicking my friend. Again, rambling. So I met her again, and this is that moment where when she saw me, she knew to shut the fuck up, bro. Okay, so after I met her, I give her that look that says, "Try me, bitch." Like straight up, if you try me this time, you're fucked. Like, here's the thing. After I met her, and here's the thing that actually surprised me genuinely, which I was actually happy about. She apologized for once. You know what I'm saying? Because only half the time people apologize. The other half, they kind of have that revenge thing where they hate you for life, even though they're the ones that fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She looked at me. I looked at her. She immediately started shitting bricks and getting scared because she knew that if she spoke up to me, I would be the one accusing her of fucking rape this time around. And again, remember, she remembered what I told her last time. This is like a reference to what I told her. You know, the second statement I gave her that assault does in fact matter or respect doesn't matter if you're dead. Remember, I told her I would go harder on you if I met you again. So because she remembered that, she was shitting bricks. But again, I was respectful. So when I showed up, I calmed her down. I was like, "Hi." She's like, "Oh shit, hi, yeah, yeah. Sorry about that last time. It's been a while. How have you been? You know, giving me that bullshit thing where you're so nervous that you just kind of start complimenting the person. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you don't want to get fucked, so you just start smiling and jittering the entire time." I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing good. My friend, the disabled one, thanks for the money." Like I should have told her that. I was like, "Thanks for the money. It really helped his medical expenses. So yeah, don't try me again. Like shut up." I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it, bro. I promise I won't try you again." It's like, "Oh yeah, good, good, Gucci, Gucci." I was like, "How's your kid?" And this is where it's funny. She was like, "Oh yeah, he's well, I don't know actually. He's I think he's doing fine. Yeah, you see, after the courtroom incident, social services showed up, and yeah, they took him." And here's the thing: I was halfway between crying for this chick because she kind of lost her kid, while also halfway between bawling because I fucking won. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and yeah, I told her, "Oh, that's sad. Do you still get to see him on the weekends?" It's like, "Yeah, actually. They just kind of give him therapy to help him out with the entitlement. But no, no, I still get to have the kid. It's just, I don't see him that much because he's spent most of his time going through trauma. Because remember, I almost gave that fucker a concussion after I yeeted the shit out of him with my foot off the bus.
Yeah.
Uh, so afterwards, I hit her with that life lesson. Because remember, because she said she's sorry and I see her nervous. Because remember, I get two responses: either shitting bricks and nervous, or angry and probably gonna try me again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Except when people try me the second time, I don't hold back. I just beat the shit out of them 100%. And again, if you lose the case and try me a second fucking time, the judge won't even have a case. He will just immediately roll you, the instigator, because bitch, you already lost. Why are you trying me again? You know what I'm saying? Again, so she apologized, and here's actually a funny thing that I actually respect her for. After she apologized, she wanted to explain kind of her situation, like her side of the story. Except this time, she wasn't bullshitting, and she was calm. She's like, "Listen, okay, listen, I'm really sorry. Okay, I really didn't want things to escalate that bad. It's just, being a single mother fucking sucks. The kid doesn't listen to me. He doesn't respect me. So I kind of took that out on you. And then when I saw you not wanting him to have something, I was more jealous than mad. And then I was pissed off because you told him off and he actually listened. While when I told him off, nothing happened. So I just kind of got pissed at you and the fact that you can just go get scot free because you're disabled while I have to deal with an asshole. And then I was like, yeah, that's kind of part of life, man. If you're gonna don't have a kid if you can't take care of it, you know what I'm saying? No Gucci mama, no baby mama type bullshit. Well, at the same time, I told her that again, I didn't choose this shit. It just happened. I was just smart enough and brave enough to work through it. Like I gave her the same like response I gave her earlier, which like depression. It's not something that I want to have, but something I work through. And I told her, don't always think someone is not disabled just because they don't look it. Because again, they could have charged you twice as hard as I would. Because remember, here's the funny thing that most people don't understand. There's a level of respect, you know what I'm saying, in any situation. Because remember, most people, when I talk to them and tell them this type of story, they always call me the bad guy because they assume, again, I just assaulted her and charged her for 800. 700 actually. But like again, I charged her for 700. She was an old mother. But again, I told them I wasn't born yesterday, motherfucker. This story happened so many goddamn times, and they're
Yeah.
so entitled that you gotta remember, life is fucking hard. Just because I was brave enough to get rid of my disability for to an extent. Remember, my legs are still kind of a bit fucked when I walk. But again, just because I'm brave enough to work through it, and she's dumb enough to not have those type of rules applied to her because she's entitled, doesn't mean I give her leeway. And I'm saying it's like money in a way. Because you have it, you gotta respect other people who don't have it. But again, people forget I work for that shit, while the people that don't have it can get more than me, but just lazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because remember, here's the thing with respect. This is why I say you gotta earn it, and actually a reason why I have problems with authority, where I don't respect you automatically. You gotta earn that shit. You don't just have it. You know what I'm saying? Which is something that most people forget is a thing. Like this is why I say it's common sense, because I'm not sure whether or not people just forget it or are just stupid. Like, bruh, just because I'm better than you doesn't mean I should give you the decency to treat you nicely, nigga. You earn that fucking shit. Just because
Yeah.
because here's the thing, they assume because I'm in quote unquote, by the way, in quotations, better standing than her because I'm able to walk and she has a kid, that I should give her leeway. Like I should go easier on her because of it. Bitch, nah. You should go easy on me because I'm the motherfucker who's disabled. Yet here's the difference. You think you're entitled to it, while I only respect you if you treat me nicely. I don't ask for it even though I have leeway to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's
I
like having
understand.
it's like having cancer in a way. You don't ask people to be nicer to you, but you are appreciative when they give it to you. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be entitled to it because you have it. Because at that point, I think you deserve it because you're like, hey, I have it, treat me nicely. Nigga, no, I have it worse. That's what I say to people. And here's the thing with disrespect, because I'm so forward and so kind of pro people that people assume I disrespect you immediately, which I do, but only the people who deserve it. That's the key difference. You know what I'm saying? Deserve it, which is a word that's so common, children know it, but at the same time, so goddamn stubborn that faggots and fucking old people don't think it applies to them, which is always funny, man. This is why I say it's like a protagonist story again. It's
Yeah.
so common knowledge that this shit is a like part of life, but at the same time, people are so stupid that they can't get it through their thick heads that I always have fun with it. Remember, if I'm fighting you, I'm having fun with it. I can always beat you at round one, or I can always trash you at round 20 by dragging it along and just beating you every turn. But that's what I do. It's like an L and Kira type situation from Death Note. I can beat you at any time, but I like to have fun with the process, while at the same time having enough respect for you to kind of give you a leeway to correcting yourself. Because remember, just like with kids, I don't just beat you. I try to give you a life lesson and tell you to not fuck up. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
again, there's a line to it. And again, there's a limit to my patience. If I give you three chances to back down and you don't listen, then the bitch slap shows up and I fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? I beat that ass so hard that again, only response is either you're stupid enough to not understand what I just did and hate me, or respectful enough to shit your pants. And I was like, okay. So after I told her it's Gucci, at least you get to see your kid and shit. Uh, guess what happened afterwards? She
Tell me.
actually
Yeah.
joined a fundraiser for disabled people. which is why actually I didn't swing at her the entire time and actually started being happy because that's kind of my solution for situations like these. I want people to improve because remember, beating her ass and grabbing her by the weave worked, but at the same time, only because you're trying to teach her something. You don't just beat her and take off the bus because that's the difference between me and other people. Other people see this situation, call bullshit, and beat her ass. Me, I call bullshit, try to help her, and then beat her ass. You know what I'm saying? And here's the difference. The difference is that in the outcome, in my outcome, she actually learned her lesson and joined like fundraisers for disabled people to try and help them to kind of atone for her problems. You know what I'm saying? Atone for what she did. While in other people's outcomes, she just learns her lesson, quote unquote, and then they never see her again. They aren't sure if she's doing this shit again or not. You know what I'm saying? And again,
Yeah.
these are people I meet all the time. By all the time, I mean daily. Because come on, it's like New York. There's of course there's daily assholes around, but at the same time, I don't always fight them because at that point, again, I would have had 50 charges. Because remember, I can go out of my way to fight people as many times as I want during the day, but I don't because only 50% of them will learn a lesson. The other 50 will just accuse me of fucking rape like she did and just kind of like get fucked and go to prison. Like, that's not an outcome. Because remember, I would rather have her be entitled and maybe learn a good lesson than just accuse her of shit and take her to prison. You know what I'm saying? Because while I can do that, because remember, I think of the way I act during these situations so I can have a favorable outcome. But at the same time, I don't just take her out. You know what I'm saying? Because I can easily do that. I can just easily charge you with assault on a minor and a disabled person and get you to prison. But again, that doesn't do shit. It doesn't like make life better. It just puts you in prison. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a good outcome. It's like a good ending in a video game. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I talked to her. I said Gucci. I actually got her number and then told her, yeah, I'll help you out with the charity and shit. Yeah, I'll hope to see you around. I hope your kid learns something so he doesn't get as fucked as you. And again, I said that straight to her face. And rather than saying disrespect or something, she laughs. And that's what I respect for her. She knew she fucked up. And rather than tell me, oh, come on, you don't say that shit to my face. Instead, she's like, yeah, I genuinely fucked up. And you should tell me that to my face to remind me of it. It's like, yeah, I understand. I'm sorry again. I was like, it's cool. As long as you know what you fucked up with, then you're Gucci. And
Okay.
then I left. And that's the end of the story of how I beat a nigga's ass and made him eat the grass and charged him $800, $700, straight up.
Yep.
Oh shit! Speaking of which, I got a new email that says entitled parents from Reddit. More stories. Okay, let's continue. What were we doing? Because I kind
Okay.
of forgot.
Okay. We were talking about Disney movies,
Oh yes, the remakes.
the remakes.
Yeah,
Um,
those are actually good. For once, you know.
yeah. What do you think should be remade?
Uh, well, The Lion King has a new remake, right?
Lion King.
Yeah, The Lion
Yeah.
King has a
Yeah.
remake.
It has one. I
Okay,
haven't
good.
seen it, but
Uh, actually like The Lion King and maybe because most of them have good endings, so I don't really need to remake the story.
yeah.
Uh, as well as the old classics. Like I wouldn't ask them to remake Pinocchio or some shit because that thing's already good. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Uh,
Yeah.
but maybe a bit fucked up because of the original story. Uh, what I would actually genuinely like them to remake, or more accurately, put a sequel to, is probably Big Hero 6. But again, they had a show put instead of a sequel, but it
Yeah.
only has one episode, I think. So like, okay, yeah, I don't really think that many things should have sequels.
Yeah. But
Maybe stuff like Star Wars or something, except a good one. Don't kill me. Uh, I don't know.
yeah.
What do
You
you think?
like? Well, I was thinking. There's a lot of Disney, of course. A lot of their early movies were movies about fairy tales. So you've got Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and you also later on have Little Mermaid and things like that. And I was thinking, what if Disney made an adaptation of Bluebeard?
Blue? Who's that? I've actually never heard that. I know Blackbeard and Whitebeard from One Piece, but like Bluebeard, what is that?
Okay, and and this is probably not going to happen. And it's if it were to happen, it certainly would not be a children's movie.
Of
Uh,
course, that's why I've never heard about it.
yeah, it's Bluebeard is a character in a story who's famous for well, the way it works is he marries a woman, okay,
Yeah.
and 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 there's one place, and he's a nobleman in France, and there's one place in his mansion that she is not allowed to go,
Please
and
tell me it's his basement.
and and
Is it
she
his basement? Please, bro, that would be the
I
best
haven't
outcome.
read the full story. I'm not entirely sure. There's
Ah,
different
damn.
versions of it probably, but
Oh,
then
probably his basement too.
one day she looks inside, and it's filled with
With
the
dolls?
dead
Either.
bodies.
Oh shit! I thought it was dolls or maybe hookers.
No, it's the dead
I mean, let's be
bodies.
real. That's probably the most realistic response.
Yeah,
But
it's the dead bodies of his previous wives.
again, hookers.
Because
So I was
what he
correct.
does is he marries a woman, and then eventually he kills her, and then he
For fun?
marries another one.
For fun? Like, I
I
never actually
guess, yeah,
understood that concept. You marry a chick, but you kill her then. Like,
yeah,
is that for fun? Because,
and
like,
it's
there's no other reason to. It's like a waste of life, unless she's a
and the
complete dick.
story
But
is loosely based on the allegations and conviction against
Bill
uh,
Cosby?
I think it's Gilles de Rais, who was a French nobleman who accompanied Joan of Arc, and he
Okay.
later on in his life wasted all of his money on making a play about Joan of Arc for the
Oh,
theater.
wasted all of his money.
Yeah,
Damn. Okay.
so much so that a law was passed that he wasn't allowed to sell his property in order to fund it anymore. Um,
Yeah, because probably sold
yeah,
everything, nigga.
and,
You
and
gotta go
then
Gucci all the
and
fucking
then
way, bro.
later on, the allegations were that he was sending out people to kidnap little boys,
Oh,
which
fuck. I was kidding when I said rape allegations, and now it's actually what's happening.
yeah,
I called it.
and the allegations were that he would abuse the little boys in a sexual way, but
Oh,
also in
shit.
a cult, a secret cult way,
Okay,
and
how
that
how the
then he
fuck
would
does that even work, my nigga?
kill
Like,
them and destroy the bodies so that he wouldn't be found out. And he
destroy the
was
bodies, nigga? Word? They
well
don't.
burn them and
At
do
least
things
for
like
me,
that.
and by the way, I'm not raping anyone.
Yeah,
Well, luckily, even though I'm accused of it a lot, I ain't doing it. So, you know what I'm saying?
but
At the very
eventually,
least, I'll give him a proper burial and not just destroy the body. That's just a waste.
yeah.
Don't quote me on
Well,
that because
well,
no accounting
if you're a
waste.
murderer, you don't want to be found out, so that's why
I mean, it's like
presumably he did it.
obvious, but still.
And then he was eventually convicted of these things in a court of law. However, even to this day, there's some historians who dispute whether or not there was actually enough evidence to indicate that
Oh
he
yes,
actually did these things.
the
So
evidence
some people
bullshit.
think that he actually didn't do these things, but others
But
think that he
is
did.
again, people are just retarded sometimes. Look, the way I see it, right? There are three ways to see whether or not the conviction is accurate. Number one is evidence. Okay, you got to check the evidence, and I
Yeah.
mean really check the evidence and see whether or not it has connecting dots. Because sometimes people be fabricating evidence and making it look a bit too accusational, like kind of like cheating. Sometimes it'll be a bit too much shit, like a nigga who isn't even professional at that point. Because I've actually seen that situation where someone would accuse someone of cheating, but then it just ends up being the women want to, fucking, what was it called? Yeah. What is, wait, I forgot the term. Uh,
I just had an idea.
yeah, what is it?
Okay. What if Disney
Yeah.
made movies about historical events?
then there'll probably be a lot of cartoons in it, nigga, because their demographic is kids all the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can make movies about historical events, and it would
But
be
it
pretty
depends
cool.
on what type. I mean, if they're gonna put something like Pinocchio, yeah, but if they're gonna put something like Blackbeard, nah, bro,
No,
that
no,
ain't
the real story of Blackbeard.
the real story of Blackbeard. What is it? Is it that he wants to be a real boy? Like what? What do
No,
you mean the real
what?
story?
No, no. That he did a number of different things.
Oh, we're sure about that. The
Yeah,
question is what type. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, where he drinks the gunpowder.
Oh God, I thought it was his own piss. That would have been better. What do you mean drink gunpowder?
No, no,
The
he puts
first time I've ever
gunpowder in his
heard that
drink.
term.
He put gunpowder in his drink, and he lit it up.
Wait. Okay, that's actually the first time I've ever seen something or heard a term like that. What does gunpowder do to your system exactly? Like, how do you
It's not
quote
good for
unquote
you. That's what I
drink?
can tell.
Well, duh, it's not good for you. But like, what does that accomplish? Like,
It,
killing you,
it's
yeah. But
it,
like,
it's to tell
drinking
people that he's
gunpowder.
hardcore.
What? Nigga, I know people who are hardcore. They drink fucking bleach and still survive. But at the same time, that's because they're retarded,
Yeah,
not dumb. Like there's a difference. What do you mean drink gunpowder? Oh my god, I'm
so
so confused right
you
now.
mix gunpowder into your
Yeah,
drink.
yeah.
Yeah,
Look. I'm not saying how does it work. I'm saying what the fuck it accomplishes. Because
it,
what do you mean drink it? Like I know what
it,
drinking means, but I'm
it,
like, what does that mean? It generally, like I guess a doctor term. Like what the fuck does drinking gunpowder do to you? That stuff is used for blasting shit, not killing you. Like that.
well, I
I,
guess
I've
it
never
would
even
be
heard of it
blasting in a
before.
different
This
way.
is interesting.
But I don't actually know what it would do to you. It's probably mildly poisonous. Uh,
My not too much, just mildly poisonous.
Mildly, yeah. There are things that are hardcore poisonous, but
Hardcore poisons, like females, like a
no,
lot of them. A lot of them.
uh,
Yes, you know it's true.
cyanide.
Goddamn it. You know females are poisonous, man.
Yeah, that one
Females are.
time I accidentally uh, swallowed a cracked cherry pit, and
What's a crack cherry pit? What?
okay, so a cherry.
That
You know
sounds
what a
like a
cherry
new
is?
term, completely made up.
A cherry, okay,
Yeah,
it's a fruit,
yeah, I know that.
and it has a
What's a
seed
crack pit?
inside. Well, it
Oh,
has a pit, which is the hard thing that's around the seed.
wait, you ate that?
When I eat cherries, I usually just swallow the whole thing. Uh,
Pause on that, but I didn't think that was the thing. Damn, bro,
yeah, but
you the different version of hardcore, the one that has no fucks. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't give a fuck if he dies.
the problem is that
Yeah,
if you and it's completely safe to do that if the pit is intact. But if
yeah.
it's cracked, then there's danger because on the inside of the seed of a cherry, there's a
Yep.
very poisonous substance called cyanide that
Oh
will
shit.
prevent your cells from being able to absorb oxygen, and that will kill you if you get too much of that. So I
They
one
can
time,
L the hardcore way. Damn, man.
yeah, I accidentally swallowed a cracked cherry pit. Uh,
Did you
and
die?
no, I didn't die.
Just making sure. You know what I'm saying?
I
I don't
got
know.
mildly ill for the rest of the day, but
Mildly ill, not too much.
mildly.
So remember, his
But
immune system is on point.
yeah,
Because if you only get mildly hurt, then you know your immune
I would
system
have
is Gucci.
had to eat a lot more of those to kill myself with that. But the
Yep.
problem is it wasn't that it was cracked already. Uh it was intact, but my teeth and my jaws, they're all so strong that the moment it came into my mouth and I started chewing on the cherry, it just ripped right through the cherry pit. My teeth, they just ripped
So
through it
was that a
like it
good
was
or bad thing?
paper. That It's a good thing in that it shows that I have very strong teeth and jaws. It's a bad thing because I got poisoned.
Yep. These are hilarious life decisions, man.
Yeah.
I've actually had a similar situation, but don't worry, it wasn't a cherry. Um, it was something way more sus. Okay, I was eating watermelon because, of course, I was eating watermelon. You know what I'm saying? But the main difference, right, is that I wasn't like on that watermelon. You know what I'm saying? Not going all the way. And it wasn't an eating competition because I would have just won, but killed myself. Again, respectable way to go. At least according to my friends, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna go, you're gonna go Gucci, man. That's the golden rules. Uh, what we actually did, right, was that we were eating watermelon. Except here's the difference: we were trying to do that thing where you eat the watermelon and spit out the seeds. Except here's the thing: we were Gucci with it and ate too damn much. By that I mean we ate like half of the watermelon and then we had like 500 seeds by the end of it, all in our mouth. And don't worry, it wasn't sexual, but god damn it, did it feel like we were swallowing some D, man. It literally was the worst because we couldn't spit it out. Pause on that, by the way,
You
but it
couldn't
was hilarious.
spit it
Yes,
out.
yeah,
What?
because it had like think about it. Watermelon is very soft in the fact that it melts in your mouth. Pause on that, by the way.
Yeah.
But like caramel, not like anything else that swallows in the mouth. Because of that, we literally just took like a huge Luffy style bite where we literally eat half of the damn watermelon in one bite
Yeah.
and just let it dissolve in our mouth. The problem is that the seeds that we were trying to shoot out at each other for fun were too many. Like we had like 500,
Yeah.
and by the end of it, all in our mouths. They kind of collected each other and were like just a giant hole or a giant like pile of cones and shit in our mouth. We couldn't spit it out or swallow it because it was too hard. Pause. And we couldn't spit it out because it wouldn't come out. You know what I'm saying? Again, pause. But we ended up not really choking, but goddamn, it was hilarious because we had to literally puke it out, and it was funny as fuck because again, my friends were just making hilariously gay slurs the entire time.
Yeah.
He's like, "Bro, I can swallow your load," and they're just like
Yeah.
immediately dying.
I
It's one of
always
those
swallow the seeds.
situations. What?
I always swallow the seeds on the
Yeah,
watermelon.
same here. Except we were trying to screw with each other, pause,
Yeah.
and then we fucked that up. The funny thing is that it was one of those situations where it's like a family gathering and you're just having fun on the weekends. No one's getting hurt, but goddamn, is it funny seeing your friends be miserable? And we were just dying, every single one of us. We were just laughing at each other. And here's the thing with that: we took turns, and each one of us did the same exact stupid shit. Like we thought that by the first round, which by the way was me, they would have learned their lesson. But nah, they wanted to be equally as fucking sus. And then we just ended up all dying equally. And it was the funniest shit because it was like, serves you right. You know what I'm saying? You laugh at your friends for doing shit, and then you end up doing it, and then they laugh at you. Everyone took a turn laughing at each other, and we were just dying. It was the funnest thing I've had on the weekends, man. You
Yeah.
don't even know what's up. This is why I say the Gucci gang is the Gucci gang. They life partners, man. And not in a sexual way, but might as well be. You know what I'm saying? You would die for your homies.
Yeah.
Except these are real homies, the kind that are your family at this point. You know, like the kind of people that if you were stuck on an island with, you would have no difference between them and family members. You would trust them 100%, even if you never met each other,
Yep.
because they real. You know what I'm saying? They real with it.
So speaking of swallowing things,
Yep, there we go.
I I have a habit where, let's say, do you have milkshakes in Morocco? Milkshakes,
Milkshakes. I
milkshakes.
actually thought you said milkshitters. Yeah, milkshakes. Yeah, we have them.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Sadly, we do not have Starbucks,
okay,
but that's
but
actually a good thing
on a
because
milkshake,
ratchet females be doing bullshit.
do
But
they
yeah,
put the cherry on top?
yeah,
Yeah.
they put cherry. In
Okay.
fact, here's the funny thing for us, and I'm not making this up. We put one slice of either melon, not watermelon, melon, right, the yellow
Yeah.
one, or just cherry, and then we just put a bunch of nuts on top of it. Pause on that, but we genuinely do that for milkshakes. But here's the thing: we only have healthy shit like bananas, fruits, and veggies in the milkshake. We don't actually add anything sus like blueberries and shit. But
Yeah.
but it is Gucci. It is
So
Gucci. It
so
does taste
again,
good.
speaking of
Oh, and we
swallowing
also
things.
have flan on it. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, yeah. I love some flan. It's very good.
Yeah. All right. Continue with your story.
Okay, so there a lot of times the types they'll use is maraschino cherry. So it's a cherry that's really bright red and it's been preserved in a sort of sweet solution.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah, I know the ones. Yeah.
yeah, and usually it'll come with the stem attached still. Uh,
Shit.
and so whenever I get one of those and it's got the stem on it, I of course I eat the cherry because I like cherries, but I also eat the stem.
Okay.
Yep, I chew it up. It's got a very fibrous texture. It has
Fibers.
yeah, it's you can tell it's you can tell it's plant.
You can tell that it's a plant. It's
Yeah,
it's it's not an animal. It's just plant. You know,
yeah.
you can tell. It's not like by the name, but okay.
It's almost a piece of wood, but I
Piece
chew it
of
up
wood. My God,
and
man.
I eat it, and most people just look at me like I'm a weirdo for eating the stem, but it's
I mean, you kind of are, but
yeah,
not really. You know what I'm saying? No one hates you too much. At least not
yeah,
I do. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
For me, right? Whenever we do stuff like that, like eat a bunch of wood and shit, cherries, I'm referring to, not the other kind of wood. We always have that thing where we make bets whether or not we will die. Like, and by the way, before you think it's sadistic or anything, no. It's just one of those things where just like white people in college, right? We just do stupid shit. And considering it has a 50-50% chance of us getting murked, we like to have fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing with me and my friends. None of us, right, are afraid of death. What we're actually afraid of is not being with each other anymore. And yes, it isn't a gay way, fuck off. Uh, because of that, right? All of us make bets when we do stupid shit that might get us killed. You know what I'm saying? We have no problems with it. But what we would do is make a pact. By the way, no, it's not a suicide pact, but it is similar. Where if one of us goes out, the rest will follow. You know what I'm saying? But no, not murk each other. What I mean is in spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like if one of us dips, the rest either put that respect or follow suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but we do have golden rules, which is no one is allowed to die. By the way, before you ask, no, I don't mean old, or no, I don't mean like kill each other. No, we'll probably end up dying just like that. But no, I'm referring to no one murk each other or themselves if one of us isn't around. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's just like Romeo's Blue Skies. We're homies for life and we love each other. So because of that, we might want to murk ourselves because we can't be with each other. Again, take it as you will. It might be in a gay way. Who knows? But at the same time, it's like, we're life partners. You know what I'm saying? None of us want to leave, but none of us want to never see each other. So when one murks themselves, the rest follow.
Yeah.
Do you have a different, similar code of ethics with your homies?
No,
Just as a question. No, no,
no,
no, no,
yeah.
no true
But
family
I
squad
do
goals.
have another policy that I have when I eat. I
Oh yes.
always eat the garnish. So
What's the garnish?
okay, so in fancy restaurants, there.
Oh, of
Okay,
course.
let's say there's a well, not even fancy restaurants, just any restaurant. But I don't know how it is in Morocco though.
We don't
There's
have that many fancy restaurants, but that's only because no one's rich. We kind of
well,
all go classic country food, you know what I'm saying? Because remember,
yeah.
a home cooked meal always beats whatever the fucking French made up for their dishes, the fucking ratatouille or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, those complex names that is just a dish. Like, nigga, just call it a dish. Fuck off.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So anyway, so usually, if there's a piece of meat, okay,
Yep.
many people will
Is it
put.
medium rare? Is it medium rare? Just as a saying.
It depends on what it is, but there's many people will have a bit of an herb or something on the side.
Oh
That's
yes,
and they
spices.
put it on there not necessarily to spice up the food, but just to make it look good when it's on the plate.
Yeah, so it'll justify why the fuck it's 500 times more than if you would have gotten it from the countryside, because that
So
is an actual
and,
term
and,
we
and that's
use.
called the garnish. And it's on there just to make it look pretty. And a lot of people just don't eat whatever it is. But I will eat it always,
Okay,
every single time.
every
Unless
single
it's
time.
something that's absolutely not edible. And
Depends on what type. Yeah, I've
yeah,
actually have similar mentality. I always eat the food I'm given, unless it's either A, poisonous, two, made by my friends, or three, trying to kill me. Because sometimes people would give you something like a live squid. And fuck no, I might be into tentacle bullshit. By the way, don't quote me on it. But I ain't to that extent. You know what I'm saying? I might watch Japanese anime, but not that type.
yeah. And
Straight up, nigga.
similarly, if I get a drink, and many places they'll put a bit of a slice of lemon on there,
Oh
so
yeah,
that
it's my
if you want to,
fanciest.
you can squeeze some into your drink and make it more sour if you want to. Uh, and what I'll do is I'll take the lemon, and I will of course eat it, not just the inside of it. I will eat the whole slice of lemon, including the rind on it, because
I
I'm
actually find that very funny because whenever I do similar things, people are like, "Why do you eat the entire food?" I'm like, "Nigga, then why do you eat any food, nigga? I'm hungry. Fuck off." Like they
yeah
always find it questionable that I eat the entire thing. Where I'm like, "Then why are you even here if you're not gonna eat half the food?" And then they give me the best response ever. I pay for this shit. Like they were willing to pay top dollar for shit they don't even want to eat. It's just the mentality of looking rich, which is always dumb because that just means you're gonna get shot from the hood. Trust me, if you make Instagram like videos with huge piles of money, you're just willing to get shot. Nothing else. Nothing good comes from that, man.
yeah, if you're gonna make videos with huge piles of anything, it better be food, like you're
That's true.
imitating uh, Joey's World Tour, very famous
Oh
food
damn.
critic. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, you know Joey's World Tour. Uh,
Not really, but
yeah,
it sounds sus, which
yeah,
is why I like it.
classic. I'm back. Stop McWhining. She told me she was 18. Joey's World
What?
Tour.
Wait, what? Nigga, wait, hold up. That last statement, though. Who's 18? Because look, if that was the case with me, I wouldn't even be mad at it because sometimes females be tricking you with that age, especially Japanese females, man. They look 18, but god damn it, are they 13? And then the rape allegations start happening, and then I'm talking too much, and I probably should shut up. Okay, yeah, continue, because I think I'm giving away
Yeah.
too much info on what I do in the weekends.
But anyway, I'm an anonymous YouTuber, so most people that watch my videos have no idea who I am in real life. But
That's good for you. So if you make accusations, just hit me up to be my lawyer
if I
because you can
actually
hit that jutsu on him. You know that
were
invisibility
to
jutsu.
not be anonymous anymore, and
Yeah.
show my face on the internet, and be a vlog kind of guy, you know what I would
Nah.
do?
Okay. I never actually understood the vlogging thing. I get it, like vlog about your life, but that's only if people give a shit. Like here's the thing: I vlogged before, but only to the squad. No one else, nigga. Fuck the rest of the universe. Like that's my
Yeah,
mentality. I
but
would never vlog
here's what I
for
would do.
anything,
Are
not
you
even
ready?
money.
I
Yeah, what up?
would do food review videos where,
Okay,
just
those
like,
those are the best. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
it's just
And
like
those are the
Joey's World
only
Tour.
videos I've actually watched. Like
I
if I've watched vlogs, you want to know what type I've watched? Either vlogs about cities, vlogs about stuff like anime conventions, or food blogs.
Yeah,
Because then I know how to cook.
because
But
that's where the views come from. So I would go over to, let's say, McDonald's.
of course you would. God damn it, man.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
don't
ahead.
usually eat at McDonald's, by the way. This is just for
Don't.
the food
You
reviews.
better not, because I don't think you want to know what they have in their food in there.
I
They
don't care
might
what they have
have
in their
goat
food. I'll eat it.
scrotums. It might be even worse.
It doesn't
Trust me, I've
matter.
seen.
It it's
Doesn't matter if they
edible.
have goat scrotums. Okay, I understand.
It's food. It's Food and Drug Administration approved. So and it's approved
Barely,
by the
nigga, barely.
meat inspectors. So I would say it's edible, and I will eat
Eating
it.
stickers, man. Fuck
But
out of here with those niggas. They already know they got McPatties for free to just say that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like in SpongeBob, nigga. You already know.
yeah,
But I never trust these niggas because Drug and Food Administration's always
yeah.
pretty shit with their actual
I'm not
accusations.
sponsored, but if McDonald's wants to give me a sponsorship, I'm not gonna say no.
Same here, bro. Listen, the only sponsors I would actually agree with in real life are food sponsors. You want to know why? Because why the fuck not? You know what I'm saying? Get like 30 packs of Cheetos or get 35 cans of Coke just to say that Coke is shit. Like, bruh, we already know it's shit. Just give me the food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because that's real shit. Like,
that.
I've never actually had a sponsor, but at the same time, if they showed up, I'll probably deny them by default because most of them don't really work. You know what I'm saying? But food sponsors, nah, those guys gain the respect because they know
Yeah,
what's up.
yeah. I mean, people talk about Monsanto and uh how their GMOs are copyrighted and how that ruins farmers. But in the end, they do grow some nice tasting potatoes. So
That is true. You got to go with the countryside food, man. It's
yeah,
the best because
yeah.
it's
I
always
don't care
delicious.
if it's a GMO. Okay, I don't care if you spliced your fish genes into the tomato. If it's
That
good,
sounds
I will
gay.
eat it.
Fish jeans in a tomato, man. What? When? Where did you hear that from? I've never even heard that term before in my
No,
life, and I'm
it's
in the
a.
countryside, my
I
nigga.
read it somewhere that people were trying to
Please
splice
tell me,
genes from a
please
certain
tell me it's not
fish
BuzzFeed.
into a
Please,
tomato
please tell
so
me it's not
that
BuzzFeed.
it would be able to grow them in colder areas.
Okay,
Uh,
that sounds like just using the elements to your advantage. That's not bad. When I heard fish genes, I was like, bro, do you mean pants or genetics? Because what are you trying to do with that apple, man? That's, I
genetics,
mean,
and
yeah, yeah, it
I
sounds
am all for genetic modification, man. I'm all about that
same
stuff.
here, except different versions. I'm all for it if it gives me robotic
Yeah,
experiences, but not all for it if it's gonna kill me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
The different versions of shit.
So what
Speaking
I
of
tell
different versions of
people,
shit,
what
uh,
I tell the haters, okay, I tell
oh
them
yes, the
stop
haters. Do you even
McWhining and
have
eat the
any
burger.
haters? Do you even have any haters?
Uh, I think I maybe once had someone that said something mean who had a SpongeBob avatar on YouTube, so I
Oh
didn't really
shit.
care that much because honestly, it doesn't matter to me if somebody that has a SpongeBob avatar says something to me. I'm sorry, guys. I know I should be taking criticism seriously, but it wasn't a legit crit. It was just
Look.
someone saying
Listen, bro.
get
Listen, bro.
wrecked or
Listen.
something.
I'm gonna give you some advice on taking on criticism, okay?
Yeah.
For me, there are five types of retards. But by the way, don't quote me on this because you might be number three. All right. So here's the thing. And these retards are the ones that like criticize content in general, not mine, just the ones I've seen on Reddit, 4chan, and literally every YouTube comment in the fucking universe. Here's the thing with these niggas. They're very special in the fact that each branch of the retardation has different standards, which is always ironic because these niggas are complaining. What standards do you fucking have, bro? All right, let's get real. Okay, here's the thing. There are the 4chan retards. Okay, the 4chan retards are the most special motherfuckers I have ever seen in my life. You want to know why? Because these niggas make no sense. Okay, here's the thing. I don't have a Reddit, but god damn it, do I see a lot of shit on it. Now, here's the thing. I've actually had a Reddit or a 4chan person hate on me one time. It was online, not on YouTube. Thank God, because if that guy found my channel, he would be dedicated to it like a motherfucker. Uh, where here's the thing, they have that rule of they. I will complain and I will fight you over anything. Like these seem a lot like entitled people in the fact that they don't have actual lives, which always makes me sad because I'm like, what fucking experience happened to you to make you want to fight people just cause. Like they would literally fight you over everything, which is always funny because I'm like, are you that bored? And then they always hit me with nah, no, and your mom. You know what I'm saying? Like that was funny. And also there are the second types, the ones that actually respect and take seriously, which are YouTube comments, except not the retards, the actual good people that give you good criticism. Now here's the thing. With YouTube comments, I have three rules. Number one, if you're gonna give me good criticism, link your name, my nigga, so I can give you that shout out. Number two, if you're just gonna complain that the video isn't to your very specific, probably gay ass standards, then you can fuck right off. Because most people on YouTube and YouTube comments have weird psychological fucking standards. Like it's kind of like a fetish in a way, where because I didn't pick your very fucking specific fetish, then I suck. And for those people, they're like the 4chan guys where I feel sorry for you that you're that deprived. You know what I'm saying? But except here's the difference. Most of them are actually very genuine people who give me good criticism. But they still do that furry shit where they do the ooh and crap. And then I just run away because I don't want no gay allegations. I'm already gay as fuck. I don't need more. You know what I'm saying? And then the third one, the one that you described. I like to call those guys Anime fans. You know why? Because most of them have stuff like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and fucking JoJo logos on YouTube. And they either do one of three things. Number one, beg for subs. Number two, follow everyone in exchange for a follow back. Or number three, yeah, just follow you for random reasons and then just randomly post, which is always weird, man. Because when they post, they either I love you forever or I hate the fuck off of you. Pause. Like that's literally a comment I once saw on a YouTube video where a nigga would love you one day, hate you the next, which is always funny because I'm like, why are you here? What about you? Do you get one of those? Because I'm like, bro, what the fuck do you even do with your life? Which is always funny. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I would say that I don't get a lot of those comments because I'm not a very big channel. But I do
Same,
have
but
to
at the
say,
same time, that
I do
doesn't
have
mean
to
you
say,
don't see
okay,
them. Yeah.
I do have to say, on the topic of genetic modification of humans, I
Oh
am
God.
100% pro. I think it's very important because in my opinion, judging from the data I've looked at, it
The
looks like
data.
the data, especially nowadays where there's pollution, so there's mutagens in the atmosphere and things like that. You have to really think about your descendants and the fact that, let's say you have
Oh, oh, wait, hold on. Before we finish,
yeah,
you were talking about Descendants, right? I actually have a cool thing to tell you about Descendants. Me and my squad, right? We have a very fucking funny thing with descendant thing, like our descendants, and then when we die, the people that come after us, like family members, we have a funny thing that we do once a year, right?
yeah,
Where we look back, find the funniest, stupidest shit, right? Like let's say a reference to something, like the seeds thing, right? And we do the thing where you kind of put a memento or an item that reminds you of that very specific moment, put it in a box, right? Bury it like 50 feet under our house. And then when we die, we'll make a treasure map, right? Not our children, not our grandchildren, but way lower than that, and then give them a mission to find it. And then what we would do is see whether or not they get every single reference. Like straight
okay,
up, you know what I'm saying? Which is very funny because we believe in reincarnation. So we believe, right, that maybe, perhaps, in the future, it's not us that reincarnate, but instead our spirit. Like we a different person reincarnates, and he's very similar to us, like a descendant. You know what I'm saying? Like one who's a descendant of you, who acts a lot like you, has a similar personality or life decisions, but isn't you. He's like a different version, almost like a parallel universe's version of you. And that's actually cool because that's actually why we see whether or not they get the references to see whether or not they're Gucci as well. You know what I'm saying?
wait, I'm really confused right now.
Yeah. What up?
Because
You want more
no, no,
context?
no, 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 no. What I want to know
Yeah.
is how do you reconcile this idea of reincarnation with Islam?
Wait. You mean as the religion or as me personally? Because remember, me and my friends are Gucci. By that we mean like protagonists. We don't really get too into the politics or religion of our nation. Instead, we just kind of believe in the stuff that we believe in personally, like that heaven exists, that good people are good people and stuff like that. And we just kind of follow that. Remember, we're very chill and live our own lives rather than focusing on what society tells us should be the right way to live or what's the best way to live so that when you die, you have no regrets. For us, we live with the no regrets, except we don't choose it through religion. We don't like, okay, I have to do my prayers. That way I won't regret it if I die. And I'm guaranteed heaven. Nah, bro. I do it, but because I want to, not because people tell me to. You know what I'm saying? I do it because I believe that it's a good thing to do and it's kind of a great form of exercise. You know what I'm saying? That's the funny thing when I tell people. I'm like, I don't pray because I want to go to heaven. I pray because it's a good way of exercising, which is always dumbfounded the fuck out of them. But my squad mates have similar ideals.
Okay,
Well,
so
remember, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, going back to the genetic modification of humans. The
Yep.
reason I think it's important is because looking at the data, it looks like it might be that eventually genetic defects are going to accumulate in the population. So
You know
it would
what's
be
funny?
good to have a way to counteract that.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
That implies that that hasn't already happened yet. And as far as I can tell, that's already happening. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, you see things like sudden adult death syndrome, which
Yeah.
has been spreading in some areas of the world, where people genetically are predisposed to just drop dead at some point in their lives, uh, usually sooner than they normally would have, um,
Yep.
which is kind of weird. But
Hey, yo, I got a question
yeah,
for you, fam. It's a real quick question, you know what I'm saying? What do you think about descendants? Like not necessarily your descendants, and more accurately, the thing I told you about the references, where it's like a reincarnated version of you, but not you. I think of it as a very realistic thing that might happen, as well as a thing to look forward to in a way. What about
well,
you?
I am a lot more religious in my mindset, in that I really think about the mechanics of religion and how things work in a spiritual way, and to
True.
really try to get down to the details on what exactly happens. And because of that, I don't believe in reincarnation, other than the actual uh, resurrection of the dead eventually. That
Hmm,
people, not that people come back as different people, but people eventually come back to life as themselves.
that's
Um,
cool.
but
As for me,
yeah,
like the way I see it, I don't think people reincarnate completely. I think there are specific circumstances or specific ways to do it. I'll give you an example. Right. Let's say I die. Right.
yeah,
Right. Like here's the way me and my squad see it. We die. We pass on. We stay in wherever we went. Right.
yeah.
But at the same time, we're able to see the world, like how it's going, or at least very glimpses of different situations. Like we don't just live a second life again, because as far as I can tell, I don't think we're allowed to just go back. Because at that point, you might as well just stay there to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So we'll basically see the world and how it went, while also being able to see our family and lives and places we were in, like how they developed. Now, here's the thing. I believe, right, as far as I can tell, right, that rather than me being able to reincarnate, right, instead, just like a protag, it's my ideals that reincarnate, like a person who thinks a lot like me, like a hero in a way, you know what I'm saying, or a
Yeah.
very nice person. So rather than me being reincarnated, instead, it's more like an aspect of myself, like a kid who has similar ideals. Because
So
remember,
uh,
usually when they say birth happens, right, they say it's randomized, you know, like your genetics. So what I think is rather than it being randomized, it's like a preset destination, like the default, except the default is class system, like in a video game. Your class is to become the protag, so you get similar ideals to what that person gets. So
yeah.
that way, this is why I say I reincarnate, while at the same time, I don't show up there. Instead, it's just a person who's a lot like me when I was his age. You know what
So
I'm saying?
let me get this straight. So
This is actually
does this
why I,
mean that
yeah, go ahead.
you simultaneously, someone that's similar to you gets born, but do you also retain your afterlife, or
Here, I'll give you an example. See, I'll give you an example from my religion, right? Okay,
yeah,
so people here think that if you live a good life, right? If
yeah,
you pray, if you overall have like not that many regrets and just live a good life, like don't take stuff for granted, while at the same time enjoy it. You know, be selfish, but don't be too selfish. Be nice, but not always nice, because sometimes people don't deserve it. Don't be evil and don't just murk niggas for fun. While at the same time, if you do it, give us a reason. Maybe it's psychological pain that can forgive you with, but you still gotta atone for it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like basically a very realistic. outlook on life. Like people are different. Sometimes situations are different. We can't always just judge them good or bad, but at the same time, we will give them different types of good and bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, for me, this is a personal thing that me and my squad would do. Basically, when we die, and let's just say we go to heaven, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we would love to have, like, let's say, see, here's the thing. People say that when they meet God, they have a request or a wish, either to talk to Him, wish to see their family, stuff like that, or wish that someone would get reincarnated, like a wish. Like, if you had
Yeah.
one wish,
I see what you're
we'd be
saying.
best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you had one wish. Mine would be a mirror pool. Now, I've actually talked to a very spiritual friend of mine. His name is Martin. He's like one of those hippies who travels the world and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, and he meets very spiritual people and thinks everything happens for a reason. You know, like the kind of guy who's very spiritual and very into God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, with him, I told him what the mirror pool is, and he told me that could possibly one of the best things that you could wish for. Now, the mirror pool is something that's unique to me and my friends, at least as far as I can tell, something we've thought of that no one else that we asked in the family have ever thought of, and either don't care or don't really think it's a good enough wish. Like for them, they'll probably wish for like eternity in happiness or some shit. But the mirror pool is basically, I'll give you an example. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's a mirror pool that allows us to look at our descendants or our lives that we left behind. You know what I'm saying? Because we know that if we get to heaven, we don't just go back. In fact, I don't think we would even want to if we could. But instead, what we would do is be able to see the lives that we left behind and see how it's going. You know, kind of like a ghost situation, except rather than being stuck in Earth and just not being able to be seen except by very special people, and
Yeah.
just kind of roam around and maybe whisper to your families about stuff like, "Hey, you might die." Leave like gut feelings and shit. Give them gut feelings of how to not fuck up. Instead, we'll just it's kind of like it's like Sims in a way, where we would see their lives and kind of like commentate on it. It's like watching a movie. This is why it's called a mirror pool because it's like a glass mirror that you see through and just kind of experience. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so for us, we would have that in our very respectable houses, and then we would just watch lives unfold. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing: we believe, right? As far as I can tell from the squad and maybe a couple family members, that when you go to heaven, your lifespan or thing that makes you alive gets stoned. By stoned, I mean it stays in place rather than like growing old or growing young. You instead just stay in that age and keep it. You know what I'm saying? Forever. Or you can change, like morph yourself into a younger self or older self, but keep it. Like keep that age so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So what we and my friends would do was, like I said, go to our lives, or at least our respectable houses that we left behind, and just look out from like a third point perspective, like an overview, where we would see the lives that we left behind, see our family descendants, and then see what people would do. And then here's the key factor: what we would do is that we would look through it, see whether or not we have future descendants, like people that are like us, and see whether or not they would found the very specific boxes that we left for them. This is why I said we don't leave it for family, we leave it for people that are like us. You know what I'm saying? That way, right? If they find it, we'll see whether or not they understand the reference. And if they do, we'll let them join the squad. Because the squad is basically like a second family. Rather than being born to it, you make something out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like with
Yeah.
home. Except the main difference is that, just like the life partners, these are the people you would die for. So we just kind of like, because right now there's only 3 to 4 of us. We want to expand it. But at the same time, to expand it, we need very specific motherfuckers who think a lot like us. So rather than kind of trying to look for them and force them, we'll just live our lives. If we don't get any more members, we'll just keep the 4 and maybe use the mirror pools that we collected to look out and find newer ones throughout the generations. That's legit what we're thinking. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's kind of like the idea, I guess, in a way. See whether or not we have future descendants and whether or not we'll find more of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so so what you think, bruh?
It's a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah, that guy said it too. He said it's like very unique that rather than living your life again or seeing your family specifically, instead you would just want to see the life you left behind. Because most people don't really want that. You know what I'm saying? Most people pick more specific answers. Like they would specifically want certain family members or want to only go for family members. You know what I'm saying? Rather than actually seeing the life that was left. You know what I'm saying? But at the
Yeah,
same time, me and my squad don't just want to see the world a second fucking time and see how it develops. Instead, we want to see what our world is like and how it develops. You know what I'm saying, bro?
I
You got,
see. I understand.
you gotta keep that squad alive. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep that hope alive for the Gucci gang. Which actually, funnily enough, I've never actually seen other people think like us. It's only ever been the four of us.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe
Hmm.
we're just crazy. I mean, it wouldn't even be wrong because probably half of us are in fact on cocaine. So it's like, yeah, you probably ain't even lying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. What about you? What would you wish for if you had one wish? Besides, if I had one wish, we'd be best friends. All right. So if we had one wish, what would you wish for?
I
Maybe
have no idea.
maybe turn back time. To the good old days. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Who knows? As
I have
far
no
as I
idea.
can tell, if I had one wish, you know what I'm saying, I would probably just wish for a miracle. You know why? Because I'm pretty sure that because of my personality type, if I go to heaven and I'm just stuck there for eternity, I would be bored in like 5 fucking minutes. You know what I'm saying? So I need something to simulate life, or at least something to entertain me for eternity.
Yeah.
And again, life is the best game, but both like the board game and like legit a game. You know what I'm saying? So you'd probably be Gucci just watching other lives unfold. You know what I'm saying? That would be a cool way to watch.
Yeah. Well, in my
And even be
opinion,
mad at it.
the
What?
way it works is
Yeah.
that the that God is beyond our comprehension
In a
in
way,
that
yes.
he is there's infinite possibilities, and there are things that we can't even imagine. And
True. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
someone that enjoys learning new things and understanding things, that in my opinion would be the greatest source of knowledge.
Is
uh
God?
yep.
Yeah, that'd probably be a thing.
And
I mean, I don't know
so I
completely.
can't
Yeah.
imagine, so knowing simply those things, I can't imagine how since there are things that I can't imagine, that
Yeah.
I could possibly become bored in some way, knowing
True.
that
But
there's all
here's
these
the thing.
possibilities.
Here's the thing. For me, right? When we get there,
Yeah.
rather than getting infinite knowledge or knowing what the world was like beforehand, we actually get to choose whether or not we learn something. And for me and my squad, we'll probably just want to live like that would be our retirement home. You know what I'm saying? So here's the thing: we are very specific in the fact that we love knowledge and learning more things, but at the same time, we're also known to take massive periods of time where we just chill and do nothing.
Yeah.
This is why I say I'll get bored in 5 minutes. That's not because I don't have knowledge or I don't want knowledge. No, I'll probably spend 100 years just learning different languages for lulz. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we'll probably be very bored in the fact that because we have unlimited time and unlimited knowledge, because we can legit do anything, it'll be very boring without other squad mates. Because remember, we're trying to make it unique. So what we would do is get more fucking homies to kind of get different perspectives. Because remember, this is why there's only four of us. Each one of us has something that the other doesn't, right? And kind of gives each other reasons to live. This is why when I say when one dies, the rest follow.
Yeah.
Not murk themselves, but like follow in their footsteps and kind of like respect their decisions. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
You gotta keep that hope alive, damn it.
Yeah. Well, in my view,
Yeah,
as a Christian, of course, the
yeah, of
way
course.
it works is
For me, I actually understood that. Like
what?
the thing where he's like, because I'm Christian or because I'm Islamic, like
Well,
that's
it's
one
because there's
universe.
differences.
No, I know, I got you. But in fact, if that wasn't the case, I would probably murk half of the goddamn world. No, I don't mean that the problem there's differences, right? What I mean is, what the does that even mean? Like, what I mean by that is like, for me personally, I believe people are people in the fact that we're all the same but always different. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we respect each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
I
I
think
never
that's good.
understood why
Respect.
when someone like here, I'll give you an example. Whenever I ask someone for their opinion, right, even if it's religious or not, they'll
Yeah.
say because I'm a Christian, I believe this and this. I'm like, yeah, Gucci, but why do you gotta always add that every single time? Because remember, I understand you got different upbringing. So say from all my point of view, from my upbringing, this is what it looks like. I got you on that. But at the same time, you're implying that there's a difference, which there is, but the difference is subjective if we're talking specifics, because each one has their own interpretation to specific shit that happened, which I got you. But again, no real difference, because if we both believe in God, then I don't think we should be like, well, in my version of him, this shit happened. Nah, bruh. We just say what we think, and then we either agree on a combination of the two, or we don't. You know what I'm saying?
All
Like,
right.
I never, because for me
Then I'll
personally,
just
right?
jump right in what I'm gonna say. So
True. Yeah, go
what
ahead.
I believe is that eventually at the end there's going to be a final judgment of everyone, and after that the world that we see is going to be destroyed, and then
Oh,
a
you
new
mean
world.
Judgment Day?
Yeah, a new
Actually, we do
world.
believe in that very hard. Pause.
Yeah.
The people here, they believe that that will actually be the final thing. Here's the thing. I told my family members, right, what happens when you die. They said two things happen. Number one, your soul and body get split because your soul moves on, your body stays here. Number two, you stay conscious when your body is still here, even though your soul isn't attached, but you aren't allowed to move or talk. Instead, what you do is that you kind of relive your life again, but only through your eyes. Like you don't physically live it. Instead, it's like showing you what you did in life and what was deemed good or bad. So you get judged. You kind of like it's like going through a therapy session, except you're in a grave with a snake for some weird
Yeah.
reason. I don't know, man. Right? You're in a grave with a snake, and the snake tells you how you fucked up, and then it tells you what type of punishment you get in the end. Except you aren't allowed to leave until Judgment Day, so you're probably going to spend trillion years just sitting on the dirt, listening to your own life story, read to you over and over again, which is always weird. I never understood that concept.
Yeah.
Do you have
Well,
any? Do you have any ideas on it? Like, I never understood the snake metaphor. I think it's supposed to be Cerberus or something. I don't know,
yeah.
man.
Well, what I believe is that
Yeah.
to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord, which is God. So when I die,
Yeah.
I will of course be my spirit will be separated from my body, and my consciousness is attached to my spirit in that sense, and then I will be in the presence of God.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, but back on track to what I was saying. So
Yeah.
then after the judgment and the world is destroyed, then a new world is created where then the people can go out and they will live in this new world. Uh, and so, in essence, as I was saying earlier, you died and then you went to heaven, but then you live again, but this time forever, and can really
Hmm.
experience a world that has no corruption. Uh,
Oh. Oh, okay. I actually believe in that too, but it's
yeah,
slightly different.
yeah.
You
Of
see,
course, it's different.
for me, as far as I can tell, right, heaven is like the base of operations in an army, a building, a community, or something like that, right?
Yeah,
It's a place you go to get judged or at least evaluated, right?
yeah.
You meet God. He gives you your life decisions, the things you did good, the things you did bad. Tells you like a final evaluation of what type of person you are, what you get rewarded with, and what you don't get rewarded with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he sends you back to a different world. Except here's the difference. As far as I can tell, there are two ways to interpret this. Number one, after you die, you stay until Judgment Day, and then when you get evaluated, you come back to the new world, like you said.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's also a different way to interpret it. The way where your body stays, your soul and stuff like that takes with you to heaven, like you said. Except here's the difference: until Judgment Day, after you got judged, and depending on what person you can do whatever you want in heaven until Judgment Day shows up. Because remember, according to the people here, it's a couple trillion years until, not trillion, but like a couple thousand years, right?
Yeah.
So you essentially have a lot of free time between then and now to kind of relive life or just do something with your life before you get eternity. Like you kind of gotta live in the experience. You know what I'm saying? Maybe hang out with angels or something. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for me personally, what I would do is kind of relive life, but through history. You know what I'm saying? Like take me to different eras of the world, so I can at least, this time get concrete evidence what happened during history without people's biases, right? About what happened, and then I get to either experience it without interacting with it or live it and see what happens. Like, what if I was born in that era and what would have been different? You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So that would be like a unique way to experience different versions of history, especially other places that you never visit. Because a lot of people do have that, where they wish to experience different places and history events, but can't because they can't physically be there or can't be in that country to talk to people that were
Yeah.
there to tell them what type of history they had. Because remember, while everyone can look up anything, sometimes there are very specific things that you can't look up unless you were there, or you were in that nation. It's
But
history, you know what I'm
is
saying?
is that something that you
Yeah.
believe will actually happen or something that you would like to have happen?
Both. It's kind of like one of two outcomes. Either A, my body and soul will go, be judged, and I'll be taken to the new world, right?
Yeah.
Or B, the same thing would happen, but another thing would happen in between where I get free time to roam around. Because remember, people here hype up heaven like it's heaven. You know what I'm saying? So I doubt that when I get there, I'll just be like, hey, and then he judges me, and then I leave immediately. Instead, I'll probably have to stay there to experience the place. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah.
see the kind of judgment from an outsider perspective, like on a bench, and then see how God judges other people. Maybe see their expressions, the lives they had before they got judged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least it's something I would like to happen. Hang out there for a little bit,
Yeah.
see what the hell the place looks like. You know what I'm saying? Not just
Speaking of
show up, get
speaking of
judged, and
hell.
then yeah. Wait, I said heaven, not hell.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what about hell?
What about hell? What my opinion of it?
Yeah.
I actually don't really have one because remember, I live my life very relaxed and very fun. I don't really think I'm going to go to hell just because, you know what I'm saying? So here's what I think about it, at least as far as my limited knowledge of it is. More accurately, limited care for it is if it's a place that I showed up in, then that's just what happens, or maybe I did something that I didn't know that got me there, or maybe I just got wrongfully judged. Who knows? While at the same time, it would be one of those places where it's a lot like heaven, a place where you get to kind of experience. You know what I'm saying? So personally, if I go there, or at least as far as I remember, all my knowledge of the damn place is what other people tell me. And what other people tell me is if you're gay, you go there. If you kill yourself, you go there. If you're a fuckboy, you go there. If you have more wrong than good, you go there. Like that's literally what all my knowledge about it is. It's very specific shit that people tell me. Not really much of anything else. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Yeah.
really much I think about. Like it's not really something I think about. Because as far as I can tell, I doubt I'm going there because I don't want to. Plus, I live my life so I don't get wrongfully judged. I act like I would if I'm always being spectated.
Yeah.
I always kind of be nice and nice to people, but at the same time, I do it freely. I don't purposefully do only kind of things because I think someone's watching me while doing it. No, I just act like I would even if they weren't watching. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm always
Yeah.
crazy. But at the same time, I'm like, if I go there, then I go there. Hell, I don't even think it's gonna be that bad. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if I lived a Gucci gang style life and went there anyway, then I doubt it's gonna be that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of a meh, give or take type of situation where it will suck, but probably not, and at the same time, I only have limited knowledge of it. Hell, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot like heaven. Well, if I show up there, the devil or someone like equally strong or something will actually judge me, and be like, "Hey, you did some bullshit. This is what happened, and this is your punishment." I'm like, okay, kind of deserve it at this point, but hey, at least I know what the fuck I did wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't just show up there and get beaten for eternity. You know what I'm saying? At the
Yeah.
same time, I also probably get to at least experience the place before getting murked or thrown into the starlight pit or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't know because as far as I can tell, it just seems like a different version of the same place, like a different version of heaven. Except rather than being rewarded, you get punished. But again, it just depends on what you did. And at the same time, you don't really choose which place you go to. They kind of choose it for you, while at the same time, you can influence it by what you did. It's like a psycho evaluation or your resume. You choose what's put on it, and based on what's put on it, you get different outcomes. So you kind of influence why the hell you're there. If you're in hell, this is why I don't complain if I was there. I'm like, bro, I brought probably half of this shit on my damn self, like the assault charges. I'm not even surprised I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if that happens, I'm like, okay, it happens. But if it didn't happen, I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like I wouldn't hate if I was there or not. Same way with heaven. I wouldn't hate if I was there, and also I would not hate it if I was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I my perspective is that based on the idea of what good and evil is. So to define good and evil, I would say that good things are things that God likes and things that makes God happy, and because of that, those things are good. And evil things are things that God dislikes and things that are contrary to God's character. So then, of
Mhm.
course, going to the question of heaven and hell, in my perspective, hell, I use that word to refer to a place where the dead go, uh, which is not heaven, but is before the final judgment, where there would afterwards be a final place of punishment. But it's sort
So
of
you
a,
kind of that's like a meteor place. You just chill there, like
well, no,
the.
you don't chill,
Yeah,
because
well, you don't chill. I meant like you just kind of hang out there until you get judged. Like that's what you
uh,
think.
yeah, unless you go to heaven, in
Wait,
which
is
case
it
you don't.
similar to the box? Or at least I call it the box. There's some sort of stigma or a thing that I'm referring to. Basically, there's an area, or at least people believe, right? There's a certain place that you go to. If you're not such a good guy, but you're not such a bad guy, you're in the
No,
middle.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm
Ooh, okay.
saying that, of course, in your status of good and evil, and the things you do, if you do bad things, then of course you are considered to uh, do evil things, and the reason you do bad things is because you have a bad relationship with God, and so in order to go to heaven, you have to love God in some way, and it,
That's funny, man. That's funny.
it,
I'm just referring to something I used to do, man. You
yeah.
see, when you said relationship with God, I was just like thinking, what is my relationship with the guy? And then I'm like, wait, I don't think I have one. And then I just started laughing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
Go ahead, go ahead. Continue.
so then the idea is that you have to have a good relationship with God to go to heaven, because God is the one who defines all good and evil, and therefore is also the judge on what happens
Judge,
there.
jury, and executioner. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Good, just making sure.
Yeah.
As for me, right? For me, what was the reference? Okay, yeah. For me, when I go there, or at least when I show up to the place, right? I'm pretty sure I get three different psych evaluations. Because as far as I can tell, right? like you said, final judgment, right?
Yeah.
I think the first thing that would happen, at least as far as people, or for me, I think that the first thing that would happen is probably me being psycho evaluated by an angel first. And then, based on my responses with that, then I get judged by him. And then my responses to that determine where I go. Because remember, just like with authority or cops in a way, based on what your attitude is and answers to the very specific questions, determine whether or not you're good, you're just messing with the people, or you're bad. You know what I'm saying? Because that's actually a thing that me and my squad discussed once. Where like, if you showed up, right? Let's say to the judge place, and an angel showed up. It's like, bro, I'm gonna show you your life, and I want you to answer specific questions before you judge, like your final judgment. Like, what is your opinion on your current situation, basically, right? And then based on your answers, you would go up or down. And then me and my friends discussed what our specific answers would be, and we actually came to very kind of very weird yet at the same time interesting outcomes. We were like, what would your answer be? And then to most of the questions, we seemed a bit too high, I guess. Like we would seem a bit too relaxed, while at the same time not caring, which is actually unique because when I talked to my friends, a lot of them seemed like they had no problems. Like they had no problem talking to him like they would to their own parents. While at the same time, a lot of them would have very different versions of what the hell they would talk about because it's like completely different class. You know what I'm saying? So and when it came to me, I gave him one of the more unique answers where I'm like, we would have a chess game, which was very funny to them, but at the same time, I was talking seriously. So they took me seriously, and then I was like, give us details. And then we kind of had a small talk, and yeah. So what do you think about that? Like, would you assume that you would actually be judged by an angel first, or just straight to the big man himself? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think in my opinion, everyone is judged by God. So I
I'm
don't
not saying
really.
you aren't gonna get judged by him.
Yeah.
I think it's more like he will give you second in command, like he'll send his second in command, and then psycho evaluate you on your perspective on authority. Because remember, if he says everything is good, or everything he hates is bad, then he would probably like your opinion before. Like think about it. At least that's how I would do it. Before I judge someone, I'm like to see what their perspective on it, like my version of good and bad,
Well,
and how they would react to me telling them that they screwed up.
be,
Because sometimes that is a very unique thing
yeah.
where I would tell you, hey, killing is bad, but in your opinion, you just did it. I'm like, why? And then I would see whether or not he's chill about it. Because sometimes people are so kind of like in their beliefs and stubborn about it that they would just automatically assume it's good, even if God Himself told them it isn't. Like their beliefs would be so rooted in that they think they're right that they would just not even question it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
That would be like giving me a unique kind of answer.
in my view,
Yeah.
God is already knows everything, so he doesn't really need to find out something.
True, but at the same time, just like you said before, there are always different outcomes. So there will still be a good way to ask them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, still ask them anyway, just to see if they would actually go with your expectations or go against them. Because I've seen that happen
Yeah,
sometimes.
but
Where I'm talking to my friends and they're like, they would go kind of all smug and stuff, while at the same time having completely different types of answers for the questions, like going completely off the grid with their answers, like completely unexpected, even if you already know everything. You
yeah,
know?
but the way I view it, another aspect of God, in my opinion, is that of eternity, in the sense that God exists at all points in time, in the sense that uh, God exists in essence outside of time, and therefore is
Mm.
fully capable of operating in past, present, and future from a simultaneous frame of reference, which
Yeah, I'm
means
pretty sure I
that
have the same idea of it.
he
I guess.
he he already knows what you're going to say, and how things are going to end up in his judgment. And since he's eternal, he doesn't change. So he's not going to change his mind on the judgment. So I see that your personal opinion as to what whether you think what was right or wrong doesn't really matter, because what matters is uh, God's opinion on what's right and wrong.
True, true. But at the same time, it's good to kind of get a slightly different aspect or a slightly different outcome. Because I've seen that happen before, like I stated,
Well, yeah, of
where,
course, in the sense of you as a person, you see time as linear. So, of course, from your perspective, it's necessary to maybe ask the questions so that you yourself examine them in your head, and then you understand what's going
yeah,
on.
but yeah, I
But
got you. What I'm referring to, right, is rather than immediately getting judged, we would still be asked the question. Like, at least as far as my
of
opinion
course,
goes, right?
yeah,
As far as my opinion goes, I will, like, let's say I meet God, right? And
yeah,
he's about to judge me. I would still prefer it if he asked me the questions, even if he knew the answers already. So that
yeah,
way, at the very least, I get like at least my perspective on it. While at the same time, see whether or not his predictions are always accurate, or whether or not they're slightly different than what he expected. Because you can always defy expectations sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen that with my friends, where we'd start judging each other for different stuff, like whether or not killing is right, whether or not this and this, and we would always kind of give what we assume is the right answer while also getting a bit of everything else. Like, think about it. Rather than just giving you a statement of yeah or no, we would give you a half answer where it's like a little bit of everything, a little bit of every type of religion, or at least every different possibility or aspect of it. So that way, we're not technically wrong, but we're not always right, because that's kind of like the best answer we give in certain situations. Rather than just giving you my opinion and hoping it's the right one, instead I'll just tell you my stance on the thing and just let you see whether or not it's a good one. You know what I'm saying? And that's
yeah,
kind of the same way we answer when we were talking about the God situation. Where, like, if you were going to get judged and he asked you like your personality, or whether or not you're a good guy, like, what do you think you're a good person? Do you think you deserve to go to heaven? Stuff like that, like that type of question. We would probably give him that type of answer. We're like, not yes and not no, but at the same time, we'll just tell him, what do you think? And then based on his answer, we'll be like, well, as far as I can tell, I think yes, but I'm also wouldn't be surprised if no, because at the same time, I'm only human. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's up to you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what the answer is, it's still up to him to judge us. So we just kind of give him our just straightforward answers and straightforward ideals, and just let him do his thing.
yeah,
That way, we ain't surprised if he kills us. While at the same time, we wouldn't matter what his judgment would be, because again, we just gave him what we think and he gave us what he thinks. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, mutual understanding in a way, or at
It,
least mutual understanding when it comes to the answers.
in my opinion, the way I see it,
Oh, by the way,
humans.
before we finish, right?
Yeah,
I made a piece of art throughout this entire like 1 hour process of talking.
yeah.
Yeah, you continue talking. I'll just show it to you on Skype and see if you like it.
Okay. In my opinion, humans are corrupt in the sense that the reason humans do evil things is because they have evil within them, in the natural sense.
Yeah,
And
yeah, because you aren't necessarily born pure or born evil, unless those are very specific circumstances, or God is the one who gave birth to you straight up. Like, he summoned you to be pure or to help in certain situations. Like, we had similar stories with this, where, like, yeah, like Muhammad or something like that, he was just a normal guy, like he was bad and evil, but at the same time, he was chosen to do only good things, or chosen to be helpful to people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in well, the way I
kind of good or
see it,
evil. You know what I'm saying?
that I,
By the way, do you see this piece of art?
I'll be seeing it in a minute when it shows up on Skype. Oh, there, the screen's already changing. But I see it that humans are corrupt, and that because of that, you are not really capable of doing things that are good enough to outweigh your inherent evil. And
Yeah, in fact, I'd actually probably prefer it to be that way. You
so,
can't just live a life and just never have regrets or never have at least something to atone for. I'll probably have that be the same thing. Like, even if God showed up and
so
judged me and said you're
from
overall
that
pure,
perspective,
I would still tell him that no, there's got to be something because you can't always be pure. You know what I'm
so
saying? Like,
yeah,
even if I got a straight ticket to there, I'll probably deny it on deck just to see how deep the rabbit hole
yeah.
goes. Like,
From my
this is actually
perspective,
why,
yeah.
yeah, and mine too, which is why I don't actually like straight up ask you a yes or no answer. Instead, I just tell you different perspectives. Because as far as I can tell, I may be human, but at the same time, it doesn't mean I'm always pure or always dark. It's like a bit of everything. By the way, do you see the piece of art?
Yeah, I see that. It's a interesting color combination.
Yeah, I
That
just went with a
yeah.
little bit of everything.
From my
Uh,
perspective, there's
this is
nothing.
actually supposed to be, right?
Yeah,
You see the wings and the butterfly? This is like ascending, you know what I'm saying? And I
yeah,
made it blue and white to like ascend heaven, I guess, in a way. But this is the key to life, in a way, like a
yeah,
key to your afterlife. Like use the key to see which door you would open to your afterlife. So it's
yeah,
very symbolic and very accurate to our conversation.
yeah. So from my perspective, no one deserves to have a good afterlife. No
No one
one,
deserves to have one.
no one deserves to go to heaven.
Hmm.
No one.
What type? What type?
It-
More context, basically.
more
What type of
context,
deserve? Like,
as in,
they
no one
they
has.
straight up don't deserve it.
They straight up. No one has a right to go to heaven. No one has done things that are good enough to outweigh their inherent evil.
Hmm. I'm kind of half yes, half no with you on this one because I'm like, yeah, no one just deserves to go there straight up, but at the same time, no one just deserves to be denied immediately. I think it's kind of it depends on the judge. You know what I'm saying? Like it depends. If you're gonna get judged, it'll be up to him and you. Like
Well,
it's like
the way I see it, it's not that
yeah,
you're being denied anything because
yeah.
it's not something that you could possibly have earned.
Hmm. So you don't. So it's less that you don't deserve it, and more like you can't earn it to begin with. Hmm. Okay.
Yes,
It's a unique perspective on it. Hmm.
and that everyone.
Actually,
Yeah,
I might have something for that, like that type of thinking. Where one time, right,
yeah,
me and my homies were talking, and we were like, "Do you think any of us deserves to go there?" Right? And I was like, and then I gave him my answer. I was like, technically no, but also yes. I'm like, he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, here's the thing. And then I gave him like my speeches, right? Where I'm like, technically, no one just deserves to go there, but at the same time, you aren't exactly completely denied it. Instead, you can have the idea of it, the hope that you can be good enough to go to a good afterlife. Like, it basically gives you hope that after you die and have no regrets, you at least have the right to be at peace. But at the same time, it doesn't mean you just guaranteed an easy life afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of agree with you on the fact that no one just deserves to go there. But at the same time, again, I might not have the right to go there, but it doesn't mean I can't think that I'm good enough or I can't think that I deserve at least some sort of peace afterwards. You know
well,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I kind of gave him that type of perspective.
The reason why I say no one deserves is because if you look at who is God, and then you get the idea that God is pure and that there is no evil in God, and that even the slightest evil is a serious offense. So from that perspective, I would say that no one could possibly have a right to
Hmm,
go.
interesting. Like I kind of half agree with you on that. Like sometimes you can always be pure, sometimes it can always be that yeah, being evil or slightly evil might be an insult, but at the same time, it's one of those things, right? Where I think it's up to the person. Because think about it. Sometimes you can't help but have a little bit of darkness in you. Sometimes you can be completely pure and have darkness, but choose to either subdue it or get rid of it in a way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think that God, right? God, at least as far as I can tell, would have like one of those things where it's like the knowledge that while yes, having evil is an offense to me, at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if like 95% of the people I meet have it because it's probably more accurately to be just the accurate outcome. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more common than not common. You know what I'm saying? So if I showed up and God told me you have darkness in you, I'd be like, yes, I am not surprised. And if you deny me heaven because of it, I also wouldn't be surprised and wouldn't even hate you for it. But at the same time, you can't deny that that'll probably be just an accurate outcome. It's like it's less a thing I control. I'm more like it. My God, they're playing music. It's less than the thing I control and more like just what happens from time to time. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things about life that I'm not denying, but at the same time, I'm not choosing to stay with. It's like it's not my choice that it happened. I will live with it, but at the same time, you can't hate me just because I have darkness. If again, I didn't choose to have it, but again, I wouldn't deny having it. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
here's
see
the
what
thing.
you're saying.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. Let's say I make it to heaven, right?
Yeah.
And God is about to judge me. And he says, "Sorry, my child, you cannot go to heaven because you have darkness." Like your version of what he says, basically. It's
Yeah.
like you cannot because you aren't worthy. You were never worthy to begin with. You
Yes.
you can you can't possibly atone. Sure, you did good in your life. You tried to be a good guy, but by default, you can't come in. My answer to that would be, okay, God, I understand that. I respect that even. Thank you for telling me that I was never worthy. That way, I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't happen. Because rather than just being worthy and you just choosing not to, again, it's like logically makes sense. But at the same time, I would also tell him this. I'm like, thank you. But at the same time, it's not something I control. That means, yes, I agree with your decision.
Yeah.
Yes, I even agree with your methods. But what I don't agree on is whether or not it's 100% my fault. Like, I listen, and then if he starts saying something like, "What do you mean?" or like, "You can't disagree," I'm like, I understand that. Again, I'm not hating you, nor am I disagreeing. What I'm saying is it's not 100% my fault. Well, also, I'm not denying it even has something to do with me. Because just like real darkness, you choose whether or not to listen to it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not denying that I've listened to it half of my life or that I did bad things, like the assault charges or something. I would fully admit that it was my fault, even 100% my fault. But I can't agree that it's always my fault because sometimes not even you have control over your own body, and sometimes, like scripted events, it just happens. Meaning, I accept it, but I don't agree with it. Like that would be my answer to it. Basically, I'm agreeing to 100% what he says, but at the same time, some things don't add up. And I'm not hating on them, I'm just pointing them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of fighting for your rights, but at the same time, agreeing with your sentence. You know what I'm saying? That way, I'm not hating the judge for giving me a false sentence, or not even saying it's a false sentence. I'm just pointing out inconsistencies or maybe some certain things that I don't understand. And again, if God tells me you can't possibly understand because you're not like me, I'm like, yeah. And I don't hate the fact that I don't understand. I'm just pointing out, like, God, these are things I don't get about my case. And I'll pretty much ask him, hey, either explain them or just tell me that these are things you can't understand. So just deal with it. And if he says that, I'll be like, sure. And then I'll leave. Like,
Yeah.
sure. You see, this is why I say when I'm saying I'm Gucci with everything. Even if I just wrongfully get accused, I'm like, at the same time, I have no problem with that. What I want to know is every aspect of the case. Because remember, for me, I like knowledge. So if I'm gonna be judged or something that I'm gonna have with me for the rest of the afterlife, I like to know every aspect of my case. It's like a case that affects your life. I like to know every aspect of the case before I go to it, or at least how it went down
Yeah.
from his and my perspective. That way, I can at least agree with him 100% and guarantee, like, because remember, sometimes, especially if you get wrongfully accused, like in your situation, you don't see eye to eye with God because you can't see from His perspective, and He won't allow you to because you're not like a being that is capable of doing it. For me, I would just be cool, but at the same time, I would love Him to at least try to explain it, even if I don't get it. It's better to explain it to me, and I say I don't get it, but okay, I respect your decision, rather than just immediately leaving holes in the case and just letting me kind of just have a nagging feeling about them because that would just be something I regret. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
Like I regret denying my case from the man himself
yeah.
just because I don't see eye to eye. You know what I'm saying?
But there's one question that you haven't
Yeah,
asked, and that
yeah.
is,
Let's see.
if if from this perspective, no one deserves to get to heaven, how do people get to heaven anyway?
Oh yeah, that actually didn't. I purposely didn't ask that
Yeah,
because it's one of those situations where I wouldn't be surprised if there's a loophole to getting into heaven, like something like only specific people are already chosen. Like remember, you said that darkness is in us by default, right?
yeah,
Well, the reason why I didn't ask him why those guys pass and I don't is because unlike entitled people, I can agree and understand that sometimes there are people that are just worthy of it by default. Something like a Jesus situation where you're born to be a good guy, so you are allowed to it. It's like that's your reward for serving me. Go at it. You see, for those people, I don't question it because I'm like, good for you. You get to keep it. I don't. I don't hate any of this. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah.
keep that damn thing.
And
Hell, if you don't accept it or don't keep it, I'll be hating on you for not accepting something that I could never have. And again, I
yeah,
don't hate you because I never had it. Instead, I hate on you for why not accepting something that was given to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, at
yeah.
least take the goddamn gift, just like on Christmas. At least say thank you for once, damn it. You know what I'm
So
saying, bro?
yeah, so
Gucci gang all the way, man.
there's two perspectives on this. There's
Yeah,
one where even though you're not worthy, you're simply forgiven. And then there's the other one where
oh yeah,
because this is a situation where a where someone has done something bad, justice needs to be done, so somebody has to pay
true.
for the punishment.
Actually, have an answer to that question. You see, for this one, right? For this one,
Yeah,
for the one that says that something bad has happened, like you were default not going in there because you were had darkness, and but I forgive you, my son, like something like that. If God told me that, I'm like,
yeah,
thank you for giving something for me. Like thank you for forgiving me. I appreciate it and I respect you even more. Peace. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like, thank you. But at the same time, if he says you're about to get punished, I will also say that I didn't know it, but at the same time, I ain't hating. You know what I'm saying? If punishment has to happen, then I don't question it.
yeah,
Remember, the reason I don't question shit is because more often than not, it is my own damn fault. You know what I'm saying? So I don't ask for forgiveness, nor do I ask for like a leeway. I'm like, nigga, punish all the you want. I don't care if I have to pray for you for the next eternity. I will do it willingly because I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would completely agree. Because remember, these are situations where even if I'm wrongfully accused, I would agree with you just because it seems like the logical thing to do. Like, yeah, you probably ain't even lying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because sometimes it is like that, where you get accused of something or something happens to you that you can't control, but again, you can't deny. You know what I'm saying? Like being a bad person when you were a kid. You didn't have control over it, but again, he ain't even lying. You know what I'm saying? Still Gucci all the way. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what I would say to him. I'm like, yeah, yeah, bro, you ain't even lying. I respect you for it. In fact, yeah. What punishment? And they'll just tell me what. I'm like, okay, yeah, praise or prayers. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. How many times? Oh, 50. How much a day? Yeah. Do I get minimum wage? I'm saying, really stuff like that, joking around. I'm like, okay, and I'll just do it.
yeah.
Because for me, it's
But
just like a new mission in life to do for fun. Remember, this is why I say I do prayer for fun. I don't see it as a punishment or something I'm obligated to do without complaint. Instead, I just accept it as a fact and have fun with the process.
yeah, I take the viewpoint of the justice that every bad thing needs to be rectified or made right in some way so that
True.
someone has to pay the price. Now, the problem is because the person that you offended is someone who is infinitely good and infinitely pure, then in that case, the punishment is an infinite punishment. And
Yeah, I'm just like with the prayers. I told him I'm Gucci with it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
so then the question becomes, if someone has to pay for it, and if no one, and if everyone is guilty, then how could anyone possibly get through to heaven? And
And again, I would probably give him the same answer. It's probably made for specific people. Because
yeah,
sometimes, just like with the angels, they're very specific in the fact that there are a few of them, just like the squad mates, but they're also very rare. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, here's the thing: if God showed up and told me, literally 95 or 90 out of a million of you will never go here. I'm like, okay. At the same time, I wouldn't ask him why those guys are here. I'm like, can I hang out with them? That's legit my question because I'm very certain that if I'm not allowed, but someone is allowed, then they must be cooler than me. I would be like, hey, bro, can I hang out with you? And know what specific shit you did to be this Gucci, man?
So so
Teach me, my nigga, like legit what I'm doing. And
so here's
even if God told me, right, you can hang out with them, but you can never be like them. I'm like, I don't care, bro. I just want to hang out with cool guys on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? This is
so
why I say I
here's
need the mirror pool just to hang out. Remember, heaven is more of a retirement home for me than anything else.
my perspective on who takes the fall for someone who normally would not be able to get in there. It's that someone else takes the punishment for you, someone who is worthy to get in takes the punishment for you so that you don't have to.
Oh, someone like a Gucci Gang homie or one of the angels says, no, God, I will be punished instead of him. Just don't hurt him. Like that type of situation?
Well, no, this is where you get the big difference between the perspectives of Christianity and Islam.
Yeah.
And that is that in Christianity, the person that does this so that you don't have to is Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Islam ways?
And in Islam, from what I understand, it goes on the principle that God forgives directly.
Hmm, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know much about that, but okay.
Yeah. So,
Speaking of not knowing much
yeah.
about that, yeah, it's been like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm actually starting to develop back pain from all the sitting. Yeah, is it okay if we leave now?
Okay, let's do a quick outro then. Uh,
Yep.
you go ahead.
Oh, damn, let me go first?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you love the sustenance that is the squad mates. If you want to hear more assault stories, hit up my channel. Don't worry, I haven't posted anything yet, but I will post soon. I'm just on hiatus nowadays. Also, hit up Anavultus for more cringy content and the ass drillings that is the Infinity Wars Let's Plays, man. You still win all the time, damn it. I swear to God, it's rigged. As
It's
for
not
me,
rigged.
it definitely is. He has too much memes. He has too many memes, man. He has the meme squad. He knows what's up. He has all the Pepes. It is a rigged game when you have Pepes and I don't. Okay, that's just a fact. Now I'm saying if you have the memes and I don't have it, except maybe the Gundam memes, Uganda Knuckles memes, that's not powerful enough to fight the Pepes. So yeah, it's rigged. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you hit both of our Patreons. Actually, do you have one, by the way?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, so hit up both of our Patreons and our Facebook pages if you got one, just in case. Just remember, if you're going to stalk mine like Anavultus did, remember to hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I hope you guys loved it, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you all next time on Anavultus over and out.